Jesus Christ. Is it? Okay, looking not fine. This is not looking fine. Let's see. It's only at 80%, so it should be fine. So where's the problem with YouTube? Where's the problem with YouTube? There was a problem with Kick, of course. I look fine on Twitch. Low res on Kick, but that's because of this resolution. Everything else looks good. But how is YouTube? YouTube is doing, I hope, good. I'm not sure. Weird shit. Okay. We are live everywhere. Everything looks good. The video codec is at 80%, which should be fine. The CPU is doing fine. RAM is doing fine. Everything is doing fine. Ethernet. I'm good. Yeah, this looks fine to me. Everything looks fine. We are good. Okay. Let's get this started. Maybe the music is a little loud. Oh, Jesus. And fuck Kick. I actually have to log in with Google to Kick, because Kick doesn't want me to log in with my username and password. Why ever? I have no idea why. So let's do some drama. We are looking at drama now. Every gamer's favorite, pirate software. I've seen there is a longer video, but we start with a short video first, and then we see how things develop. Shall we?
I was watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard. Blizzard. Game industry for Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard. Yeah, no, I worked at Blizzard back when I used to work at Blizzard, when I was at Blizzard. For those
Guys, I might think that he worked at Blizzard. But I'm not sure. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Maybe we have to investigate more.
I don't understand. Like, I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. I know how to do that because I worked at Blizzard. Example of this when I was at Blizzard. How do you know so many things? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I don't think I'm better than other people. I do think that it's funny because you key on that. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting. When in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
Guys, I think I see where the problem lies here. I think we have a problem. I really think so. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have to investigate more.
I actually am the first second generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second.
So basically, Daddy worked at Blizzard and he got a job at Blizzard because Daddy.
Generation Blizzard employee ever. The first second generation Blizzard employee. First second generation Blizzard employee. So I'm second generation Blizzard. I'm the first second.
Is he in the photo or not? I can't tell. Maybe that's him or his father, but I don't know.
Generation Blizzard employee that ever existed in the company. I'm also a second generation Blizzard employee. I was a second generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second generation Blizzard employee ever. I was the first second generation Blizzard employee. And I love that shit. I love that company. Working for Blizzard sucked, and I work at Blizzard.
Then why did you stay there? I mean, to be fair, why? I mean, you've worked at Blizzard, I think. So you might have a good repertoire when going to a different studio. Unless you have a non-compete clause in your contract, which I hope you don't.
I worked at Blizzard. There's me eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was actually at Blizzard. I think it was my first, I think it was 2009. It was me picking a safe. It was me cracking a safe in, at Blizzard. Your Blizzard stories are fake? Which Blizzard story do you think is fake? Would you like to talk to me or my dad that worked at Blizzard for 23 years that's currently in chat? Which one do you want?
I think we have to investigate more on what's going on here, because I'm not sure what's going on. I'm really not.
A lot of WoW players are dropping.
Stop this! I hate YouTube. It's so shit. Oh my god. Let's do this one. The thumbnail is so nice.
That's my biggest issue. Like, he's being disrespectful to the only people that are still sticking around. He lost 120,000 subs over the last 2 weeks. Like, these are the
That's a lot. That's way more than I even have. Which, to be fair, is not hard. But, you know, I am at least growing. And I'm not losing a bunch of people. So, am I better than Pirate Software? Oh, Jesus.
people that are sticking with him through thick and through thin, and he's still lying to them, like right to their faces. Pirate Software lied, and then in the same clip proves that he was lying. I didn't even have to do research for this one. Now, this as well was from a live stream where I decided to record this video. I know I've said in the past that that kind of impacts my bias and whatnot, so I tried my best just to focus in on the content that I was sharing with you guys. I made sure to, you know, write it down beforehand, but I'm still interested to hear what you guys think. Now, not only that, I also go into detail about some of the issues and the history with Heartbound and its lack of updates, lack of consistent updates, I should say. But one more
I guess Heartbound is the game by Pirate Software. That's my guess.
Thing to mention before the video gets started, in my estimation, this is probably going to be one of the last Pirate Software videos that I am making as a part of this saga. It's getting to a point where I just don't think the quality of the information that I'm sharing with you guys is up to the standard that it was even just a few short days ago. I might be taking a break if there's big drama in the interim here as I'm trying to find a new story to go into. I will of course be covering it, but I just wanted to be upfront for the people that have been watching and are kind of waiting for us to get into new stories. There's been something new that I thought useful each day, and now that we're coming out of it, just wanted to let you guys know. But finally, if you're new here, end up enjoying the video, consider subscribing. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you found it useful and want to share it to other people. Helps in the algorithm. But regardless of if you do either of those things, thank you for watching. So
Everything that he just said, also for me.
this is coming from Colette Xcore on Livestream Fails. This is the clip, and they also sent me the raw clip. I'm going to play this for you guys. I just want you to watch it. I just want you to follow along, and then we're going to go over it again and go a little bit slower. So he's talking about all the people shitting on him for Heartbound and like this slow progress of Heartbound, okay?
I release an update for Heartbound on the first week of every month. All those people who are making videos about that are fucking morons. They should probably just check the Steam updates. That's like, there's literally an update that goes out the first week of every month. Yeah, they're just content farming. Like, here, I'll even show it to you, man. Even though people are, like, review bombing the shit out of the game. Here. Boop. You can just go down here and see the announcements right here. You can actually see all of the patch notes. They're all there, right? It's all in there. You just go see it yourself, going all the way back, right? So, like, right? So people that are saying that the game never gets worked on or has been abandoned are lying to you. Like, provably. So, don't fall for that weird bullshit.
This part right here, right?
Like, provably. So.
Provably. So remember what he said, right? He said that a monthly
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I wonder what he found.
update comes out in the first part of each month. In the first week of each month, an update comes out. Now, number one, just to get the semantics out of the way, it is July 10th. We are in the second week of the month. There's been no update for July, but that is pedantic, right? That's a bit.
Okay. If you say so. But if half the month is already over and there's no update, but the update comes in the first week of the month, we are 1 week over that.
You know, even if he's just getting an update out every single month, I think that that's fair. What if I were to tell you that in the clip that you just saw, he proved that that isn't true? He goes through to show us.
I love it when the karma. I love karma.
You guys can just go on the Steam updates, right? Just go check the Steam updates. Well, let's look at those Steam updates.
Boop. You can just go down here and see the announcements right here. You can actually see all of the patch notes.
Interesting. Okay, so right here,
April
update moved.
Oh.
Moving this update to May 1st. New stuff coming this week. That's in April. Don't worry, we'll go to these. They're there. The next update should drop this week. That isn't true. They end up moving it to May 1st. In his own clip, he is showing that that is wrong. The proof that he is right, that there's an update coming out every month, is false by his own, what is that? By his own volition? By his own proof? It's right there. It's right there in front of it. It's in, I haven't seen anybody on this Reddit talking about it. People have been covering, and we're going to go over some of this stuff in regard to Heartbound. They're not.
The thing is, let's be generous here. I mean, game development is work, and things can happen that, you know, you plan on bringing out an update at the beginning of every month. You plan that, but then things happen and you have to change things up. These things happen. These things happen. But it doesn't make the general English. It doesn't invalid the saying that bringing out an update every month, even if you don't, because things happened. Why do I say that? Because things happened. Things happen. The goal would be bringing out an update every month. That's the goal. And in general, you stick to that. But then things happen, then one update doesn't make it, has to be delayed because things happened. You trying to fix a bug or implement something and it doesn't work out properly. And then you push it back. You push it back the update. And then it's not in the same month anymore. Things like that can happen. So in general, but of course, it's not really you shouldn't say things like that. What he should have said is that he works on bringing out updates every month, and sometimes things happen and they don't make it. That's what he should have said. That would be the more correct thing to say, because bringing out an update each month, that's a goal. You don't always make your goals. That's the thing.
Not even bringing up that's itself is a lie. So I went up and I pulled up the updates. So I was like, there's no way, right? Why would he have proof of himself lying in that clip of him saying that he's got proof that everyone else is lying? So this is March. So we get our March patch. Great. New stuff coming this week, April 3rd. Next update should drop this week. I was going to launch this on the 1st, but the dialogue, blah, blah, blah. He's saying it should drop this week. It is now April 21st. Was going to drop the update last week or so, but a lot needed to be changed. I was very busy with our ferret rescue. Thankfully, I have everything written and implementation is a breeze, so it's not going to be an issue. And then he says this. Also, as a point of clarity for those that are upset at my streaming schedule and the games I play on there, I run a company of 15 people and a ferret rescue of 60 plus animals. If this indie game could pay for it all, I definitely would just be doing this. It cannot and never has been able to. The stream and the community that supports me streaming allows me to work on this game and accomplish all of the objectives I set out to do. Again, I'm not going to go after this guy because he didn't update it within the first week, even though he said he does that every single time and said literally, because I think that's pedantic and I think that's dumb. But we can all.
He's right. Should not have said it that way.
Also, while I was looking through this, he was saying he does that every month. Out of curiosity, studio update, January 2025. There's a video. And the last time he updated since then, April 1st, 2024. Oh, wait, this patch is an April Fool's joke. There are no known issues. There are no bug fixes. I'm a perfect programmer. It's all April Fools. And then the update before that was back in 2023, December.
Wow. Wait. What the hell is going on here? So he's literally just lying. He literally just lied. Completely making everything I said before completely worthless. Wow, he just lied. Well, so much for that.
Of 2023. People were upset about how long it had taken for Heartbound to get updates. We're going to be going into a little bit of depth about what updates are in that. And maybe, maybe Pirate was saying every month since he got back in January. Let's take him at that. Because he was still wrong about that. Let's take a look at the journey, a bit of the journey of Heartbound. Yeah, he clarifies in the studio update video at least. Let's take a look at what's in that video.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about why Heartbound has not been updated for so long. And it's hilariously because the community exploded inside. Back in November of...
Did you see that? Why is his face so close to the microphone that his nose is literally hitting the microphone? What's going on here? What is going on? Is it that he... Oh my god. Have you guys seen the clip of him giving an interview, talking at the games convention somewhere, and his voice is not that deep? Have you seen that clip? I think we have to bring out that clip. I think people are right when they say that the voice he has on stream is not his real voice. Because he's doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm not speaking very loud right now, but I'm close to the microphone and I can see in my OBS that my voice is as loud as if I would, sitting back and talking to you guys. But I'm very close to the microphone. So maybe, and of course, I I mean, let me know in the comments if my voice is deeper now. I think it is, because I'm not screeching. I'm very, very gently talking to you guys. Am I not? And I think that is exactly what he is doing. That's why his voice is so deep. And of course, we also have tools like a voice meter. You can literally make your voice deeper here. And personally, I actually think this doesn't have an effect on my mic at the moment, because I don't think my mic in OBS is going through a voice meter. It's directly from the sound noise suppression on my AMD software, and this is only my Blue Yeti mic with the noise suppression going directly into my OBS, and I of course have filters there. Of course I do. And that's why my voice sounds the way it is, and voice meter might not do anything there. But I don't know, because I'm stupid. And I'm only halfway knowing what I'm doing. So keep that in mind. I think we found out why his voice sounds the way it does.
2023, we had an average of about 400 viewers. This is now between 15 and 20,000 now. In order to contain all of that and to do something with it that was actually, beneficial to everyone involved, I had to do a lot of stuff. The first thing that I had to do was form a corporation. We actually incorporated Pirate Software.
Right.
Originally, it was just a DBA, a doing business as. I'm the CEO, and I started hiring on all of the staff. Moderators are actually on full time now. Every one of them is salaried in the United States, and they get vision, dental, medical.
Vision, dental, medical, insurance. Hell yeah, insurance for the mod team.
One of the things I'm trying to do going forward is get them on to a 401k plan, which if you're in Europe, I believe that's called a pension plan. Yeah.
401k, pension, super useful. Thank you. So why haven't you made your game that you sold to people? I just want to make it clear. Like, imagine being someone who had been waiting for this game and have been told that the expected release date from Thor's own words, we are hoping to fully finish and release the game by December of 2017.
What?
Right now, we're on track.
What? That was fucking 8 years ago. Well, almost. It's not December, but it's almost 8 years ago. What the fuck is he doing? What is going on? Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad.
For that date, but if anything changes, we will let everyone know. The expectation that they put forth was 2017, and maybe people have made purchases after that. Let's be fair, right? Maybe people made purchases after this, and he was being realistic. And you guys saw, like I said, I recommend checking out Slop News Network's video where he goes in depth about Pirate Software's jobs, like his workplace, all that stuff, and he goes into the process of Heartbound and how he completed like 6% of the game in a year, like 6%.
That's okay, but can you really say that? I mean, how much of that is, where does that number come from? I wouldn't trust numbers like that. That makes no sense. Because there always can be things happening in developing a game and in work in general. So, 6% per year. That would still mean that it would need over 10 years to finish the game. And, 6% per year. That means in 10 years he has 60%. What the hell is going on? This is stupid. Stop saying things like that.
Of a single chapter of the game. Try to get into the shoes of somebody who has purchased this game, who has been supporting it. Keep in mind, they had a Kickstarter that reached its goal and surpassed it within 2 days. One that got to $19,000 and was hoping to get $5,000 in 2 days. So you are that person, and admittedly, little bit of poisoning the well, but I'm thinking, like, what would somebody who's been waiting for this game to update when they haven't, and this is true also, they hadn't received an update for the game in over a year. This is their update. The response is, well, everything blew up, and the project that is promised to you guys has been put on the back burner because I've hired a full team. I've been doing all this stuff. Okay, but let's actually finish
if you hired a full team, wouldn't the work get done faster? I mean, if you do it alone, and it would, well, according to math, take over 10 years. If you hire a team of people to do the work, wouldn't it then be done faster? This makes no sense.
Finish his part of the video here so we can hear more about why, you know, he can't work on it.
All of this got done in the last year. This was my whole last year, and navigating all of that stuff took an immense amount of time. And because of that, I stopped working on games. I just didn't have time. I worked on Heartbound a little bit here and there, and there wasn't really any other time to do stuff. So each day I would get off stream, I work on it for about an hour, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 2 hours, depending on the day that it was, and then went back to work on that. That was it. And then I could go and stream stuff and do everything outside of that. Yep.
Okay. I also just want to bring your guys' attention. If you look down below me here, I'll actually play it just so you can see that bottom. You can see down below here, those are the recent streams here, 19th, 18th, and 17th of January. Just real quick, so that's 7.5 hours of Ashes of Creation, 12 hours Path of Exile 2,
Wow.
12 hours of Path of Exile just chatting. Oh my god, it's Ludwig. Let's just
Wow. Let's go back on that. So 3 days in a row, he was only streaming because he couldn't do any other things. I mean, he literally has no time doing anything else during these days. 12 hours, again 12 hours, and 8 hours. So at least an entire day's worth of work is only streaming and not working on the game. And that's 3 days in a row. I mean, sure, that's just 3 days in a row, but it's a clear sign of something. It's a clear sign of something. So what's going on? I mean, sure, he makes money with streaming, like, you know, and I guess YouTube. So of course he would do that, but why 3 days in a row? Why isn't he? I mean, sure, he could, you know, yeah, I stream, I don't know, 4 days a week, and then 3 days a week I work on a game or something like that, you know. But this doesn't look good, because I don't think he would do that. Something is going on. Something is going on.
Path of Exile 2, 12 hours of Path of Exile just chatting. Oh my god, it's Ludwig. Let's just look at the comment section of this video and see what actual, you know, owners of the game, people that have been supporting him, what they have to say about this update. I love Thornall, but hearing him say that he had no time to develop Heartbound while streaming AOC and WoW up to 13 hours a day seems insane to me. And the next one here, maybe the real Heartbound is the friends we made along the way. Yes, King. I'm sorry, but you saying you don't have enough time while simultaneously streaming WoW and AOC 12 hours a day every day is ridiculous. You obviously have time. You're just choosing to devote it to your streams instead.
And that's it. I thought it. That's proving what I thought. That's the problem. He isn't working on the game properly. He's just streaming, because most likely that makes more money to him and gives him the fame factor. I think that's what's going on here. It's a completely ego-driven thing.
Of the games you sold people. Don't get me wrong, if Thor wants to swap to streaming as his career, that is 100% okay, and his choice. But if that's the case, he needs to state that openly, and then refund the game. Going nearly 2 years with no updates, and then being like, nah, I just haven't had time, when there are hours upon hours of VODs of him screwing around on WoW, leaves a bad taste in my mouth. We got Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 before we got the first promised monthly update. Well, let's take a look at the referencing for almost 2 years. Not a single update. Matter of fact, it actually did go over a year. and someone has a screenshot from that time frame. This is in the Reddit post, one of the top comments actually, and it is a screenshot. So for those who don't know, Steam implemented something back in February of this year. And what that did is it marked games that hadn't received an update on Steam in over a year as a game that's been abandoned. Kind of, to give a pep in the step to those people that were, making shovelware games where they're just putting stuff out and then they just stop updating it. And it allows, consumers to know this game has been abandoned by the producers of the game.
Now, if it's a single player game and there aren't any known bugs in it anymore, that's completely fine. You publish a game, you fix the bugs and you're done with it. That's completely fine for a single player game, completely. Now an early access game, that's not. Same goes with a multiplayer game.
Or developers, so be wary. This was the screenshot. Early access, this is from Hardbound at this time. Note, the last update made by the developers was over 13 months ago. The information and timeline described by the developers here may no longer be up to date. We want to open more Heartbound content to the public to get feedback and fix bugs on the road to launch. So, they're talking about early access, allowing an even greater conversation between us as developers and the Heartbound community. That's how we know that was Heartbound. 13 months is absurd. This is kind of where that gets implemented. So it gets implemented in February, and suddenly he starts making updates to the game. Well, I was going through that Reddit thread of this clip that I showed you today, and
wild theory here, a conspiracy theory, if you might want to say. He started making updates so that that line on Steam disappears. That might be the reason. So people now that get to know him go to his game and buy it. That might be the reason, which is insane. I mean, it makes sense on scammer making money front, but that's it. I think we found out why he started making updates again.
Someone compiled all of those updates and what they meant for the game. Let's take a look at someone's summarization of the most recent updates for Heartbound. This goes starting with, let's start with May. It actually goes all the way back to that December of 2023. So we'll start May 28th. This is, the most recent one that they covered for June, right? This is the most recent update. No new content besides a new facial expression and mostly arbitrary timing updates, which boils down to changing a number or two in an array. May 1st, 2025. So this was...
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Supposed to be the April update that got moved to May. Added a conversation path with a character named Road, added some strings to an existing array, fixed a game crash bug. Keep in mind this was...
That's not a lot.
Reference, writing is his weak suit. He said it multiple times. Writing is the toughest part for him. Sure, let's give him...
Okay, if you have the money, you hire someone. To be fair. If you have the money, you hire someone. And to be fair, for an indie game, I don't think there's much to write there. So that might be a couple of hours of writing. If you are good with writing and get it going in your head quickly. Which I don't. I'm not good at writing.
That credit. Following after that, so now we're going back to March 2nd. A new way to access whatever the clash is. Change of dialogue text, fixed some audio bugs. So keep in mind, he's been working on the last 8% of chapter 3 for the last, I believe, year and a half, 2 years now. I could be wrong. Someone can fact check me on that. And he's doing audio patches. He's doing a game crash bug for a specific system. Added a number symbol to the game font. He added a number symbol or a hashtag to the game font, extended a storyline, possibly dialogue, more strings and arrays, added a quit button. He added a quit button, guys. Long list of bug fixes. April 1st, 2024. April Fool's, not an actual update. This, by the way, February 1st, 2025, April 1st. Now you'll notice February 1st, this is around...
There's a time game. What are we missing? March. So March was nothing. Wait, March was something. Wait. Oh, I see. The dates. We are going down with the dates. Okay. This up here is 2025, and then we're going to 2024. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a time gap between April 1, 2024 and February 1, 2025 of no updates. And before April 1, 2024, there was a time gap to December 2023. What the fuck did they do? I mean, he obviously did nothing from December 2023 to April 2024 because there was no update. So the wait, yeah, wow, yeah, he really just started getting back to updating the game in 2025, and the last one before that was in December 2023. That's a long gap. That's a long gap, yeah, of no updates. For a game that's in early access development, that's a long time. Shouldn't be the case.
And the time that that got implemented, that people could notice that games were being abandoned. And we know about that 13-month period because this April Fool's update wasn't an actual update. So this in here lies 13 months of no update. Calling it Fartbound? Holy based. Now we jump to December 25 of 2023. So back in 2023 on Christmas, new facial expressions for 2 characters. They added effects to 2 characters, cutscenes, added pause option to pause key. I swear that's in the list. Space can accept. Cancel button on a controller can close a menu. He's encompassing all of the updates that you just heard me describe from the last year and a half. 1.5 years of work got players new facial expressions for 3 characters, some more dialogue options in already existing dialogue trees, and some bug fixes for code he already wrote. I think that's, I don't know, I feel like that's a cop-out. Obviously, you're bug fixing the code that you wrote. This is, at most, a few weeks worth of work for someone who sits at their home office all day talking about how good of a programmer they are. 1.5 years is embarrassing. This is not a list of actual updates. This is the equivalent, and they're saying this, this is the equivalent of saying you're working on your book when all you're doing is finding synonyms for words you already wrote and changing the font from Calibri to Times New Roman. You guys...
Yeah, this looks bad. Like, really bad. And also, you know, is Weakspot is writing dialogue? Then my question would be, why is he creating a game that has dialogue? Why? Makes no sense. I wouldn't do that. I mean, why would I create a game with a lot of dialogue and dialogue strings if my ability to write dialogue is not good? I would just create a different game. Focus on gameplay. Why? Why does this exist? Why is he doing that? This makes no sense. He shouldn't have started developing this game in the first place. It was a mistake. Bad choice.
You guys played Schedule 1, right? That's also made by one guy. That's made by Trevor, right? Let's just go through a few of the patches. Oh, is it Tyler? Not Trevor? My bad, Tyler. I apologize. That's my bad. Let's see what we've got cooking here. Thank you for correcting me. So we've got added off-road skateboard. So there's a whole new item. Huge. Fix not being able, so bug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11. Well, even this one is just modified. Okay, so 10 bug fixes. Okay. So then June 15th, he did a vote for these. June 11th. So this is the community vote. All this is the community vote. What was this one? This was June 26th. So a couple weeks after that. June 10th, consuming a few more tweaks, improvements, bug fixes. June 8th, additions, added lockers, added item slot filters, added employee property transfers, tweaks and improvements, bug fixes. In these last updates, he has done more for Schedule 1 than Pirate has done for Heartbound in a year and a half. I would say by just legitimate improvements to the game, we had 3 facial expression changes and a few writing changes. Now,
yeah, this makes look Pirate Software really bad. When other developers who didn't have worked at Blizzard, second generation Blizzard employee, and others haven't done it, and they do more work than you and make better games than you, then maybe you aren't as great as you think. Maybe that's a problem here. I think it's an ego thing. I really do. I really do think that it's an ego thing. I absolutely do. Yeah, I'm now absolutely certain about that.
Admittedly, they're two different games, right? You know, he doesn't have to worry about the story. He doesn't have to worry about those things. I would argue that this man is creating, you know, new mechanics like the lockers. He was changing things up. He was repeatedly updating the NPC AI. I'm sure as you guys were playing Schedule 1, remember, AI was a bit buggy. Now he's not a streamer. He's not a full-time ferret rescuer. He doesn't have 15 people.
That's also a thing. He has Pirate Software Stream is a streamer, game developer, and he has his ferret rescue. 3 things. Why? Why do you have 3 things? And you very obviously only care about 2, which is the streaming and the ferret rescue. Because the game absolutely doesn't look like you care about. At least not anymore. So, what's going on? That's not good. Stop it. Stop it immediately. Get your shit together. I think he should really refund all the backers of his game and just stop making the game and just focus on his shit. I think that's what he should do. Absolutely. Because this isn't working out. Or he, you know, finishes his game and streams less. Or stops being personally involved in his ferret rescue. Which, by the way, ferret rescue, what the fuck are you doing?
On staff from how I understand it. And someone was talking to me. I was arguing in Discord. This isn't to like clown on somebody that I chat with, but they were arguing and I was saying that this is stupid because when I saw the clip and then he wasn't even able to get his monthly updates out, I was like, that's stupid. I'm going to make a video about this. They were like, well, it's just like he forgot to get an update out in a month. Like, okay, you know, next time you say you're going to do a daily upload and you don't, you know, I'll make sure to, you know, make an exposed video about it. And I thought about it. I was like, well, maybe that's a good point. And then I thought about it a bit more. And I'm not telling you guys, or I'm not offering to you guys an ability to purchase your opportunity to watch my videos. Like my memberships, I say it explicitly, it's just to support. It's because I can't, you know, justify holding on to a drama video. Maybe if I start making some more video essay stuff, I can get that out to members, but it's not a promise. And I'm not willing to promise that. Thor has offered a product, has promised a product with the Kickstarter being reached, with the people that are able to purchase it in early access. Like it said, it's just to build a bigger community for that feedback. He should be delivering on that product. And now he is turning legitimate criticism, like other people criticizing that he is not working on the game like you would expect someone to after they promised it to this many people. He has opportunities. He is making a butt ton of money. If he just knows the grindstone for a month and just got those updates out, maybe that would even be sufficient for the people that have done it. And he has made, we would have to assume, millions of dollars at this point. What he's doing, just look at his Twitch sub revenue. And here he is talking about that he just doesn't have time. You promised the product. Nobody else did. You promised to deliver on this product. And I guess you're going to. I guess early access allows you to just stretch this out as long as you possibly can so you can get good streams where you're typing in and changing a number here. It pisses me off to no end that he is going to go and complain and say that people are lying about his inability to get updates out when he shows in his own video.
Right.
That he can't do that, that he can't stay consistent on it. It's just, it's mind blowing. It's the confidence, it's the cockiness. I don't really know how to sum this up. There wasn't much more I had to it other than just showing like Heartbound's journey and that time and time again, he's been fucking around on it. And I guess he can just get away, maybe because of how it's legally set up now, to not deliver on that product in a reasonable amount of time. Does anyone have a counterpoint to anything that I just described? I don't disagree. Full-time work on the King 2. We work on 2-week sprints where we knock out 10 to 30 bugs a go and we try to get updates out every month or two. It's tough. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, he's not making any money on Heartbound by just doing updates, right? Like that doesn't give him money.
Of course he doesn't. Of course not. I mean, is this even a discussion point? Really? Why?
You know, it does streaming. You know, streaming for 12 hours a day, that's making him a shit ton of money. That's allowing him to keep the lights on for these 15 moderators and they're the 17-person team and company and the ferret rescue. Don't get me wrong, but just be honest about it. Don't, like, it's so disrespectful, in my opinion, to your audience that you are going to lie about your ability to get consistent updates out, and then you're going to vilify people that are calling you out on it. Just admit it. Just say, yeah, it's not a priority anymore. That's my biggest issue. Like, he's being disrespectful to the only people that are still sticking around. He lost 120,000 subs over the last 2 weeks. Like, these are the people that are sticking with him through thick and through thin, and he's still lying to them, like, right to their faces. That's it. I don't want to draw this out more. I'm going to be repeating myself. But yeah, here's chat saying goodbye to you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Boobs, huge. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Adios. Peace. Good.
Everything he says. Plus. Plus. Okay, let's take this because there's the clip.
So I feel like I'm being direct, and other people feel like I'm being evasive.
100%.
He needs to remove his mic filter that gives him the radio voice.
Software, how's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic Con, and there's so many people.
See? That's his real voice.
They love the games, so it's been awesome.
So speaking of games, what do you have for us today?
So we have Champions of Breakfast, and that game is pretty difficult.
Because I'm not gonna make fun of his voice, I don't give a shit. But I will make fun of the comparison between the voice and the filters.
So
There's a huge comparison.
I feel like I'm being direct, and other people feel like...
And see that? See that again, chat? His nose is almost inside his microphone. This is insane. What's going? I think he's very, very insecure. I think we have here a prime example of being arrogant and insecure at the same time. It's very obvious that he's insecure about his voice. To be fair, I hated hearing my own voice when I started streaming. I really did. I couldn't stand it. And now I'm completely fine with it. And yeah, he seems to have a problem with that. Self-esteem issues, I don't know. And also he's sitting there like his shoulders are up so high. Maybe he's uncomfortable. Might be a thing. I think we end the video here and oh shit, 4 hours. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I go and take a piss before we watch that. If we watch that. If we yeah, I go take a piss and leave you with music. And I'm back soon. Oh. You know what? Do we... shall we do the video? Or shall we not? Well, let's just go down the rabbit hole, I would say. Down the rabbit hole. Dr. K.
Push. Welcome to another Healthy
Take
Gamer
the wheel.
TV stream. My name is Dr. Alok Kanoja. Just a reminder that although I am a medical doctor, nothing I discuss on stream today is intended to be taken as medical advice. Everything is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If y'all have a medical concern or question, please go see a licensed professional. So today we're going to be talking with Thor, Pirate Software, and I understand, I don't know the details, chat, but I understand that there has been some drama. I saw that there was drama. I don't know.
There's always drama. There's always drama. And I'm waiting for the moment I'm in the drama. It's gonna be fun.
Exactly what's going on, but I think we're going to be talking some about that. I mean, I don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about whatever Thor wants to talk about and whatever I feel like talking about. But I think that there's been some stuff that's been going on. And it kind of feels like one of these like elephant in the room situations where if we just like pretend nothing happened, it feels like super awkward. But I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't really follow like streamer drama very much. But yeah, whatever happens. So we're gonna see. We're gonna just talk. So I really enjoy talking to Thor. We've talked to him a couple of times before. It's usually been a great conversation that people have enjoyed. I understand that a lot of people are unhappy with him, more unhappy. So we're gonna just figure out what's up with that.
So, by the way, Dr. K, I've watched his stuff for years now. I don't know, 3 years? Maybe. And yeah, I always thought his content is great. He made me think about a lot of stuff, which helped me improve myself, which is one reason why I am here now. So, thanks, Dr. K.
Always, we are, we try to be like compassionate and understanding. That doesn't necessarily mean we're non-judgmental, right? So that's
Yeah. Why is this a discussion? Of course you can tell someone, the hard truth without being a dick. You don't have to be, oh, you poor thing. The truth is better than, treating someone like a little bitch.
it's not one of our key values, but our values are to be authentic and compassionate and recognize that, like, people sometimes struggle, sometimes make mistakes, sometimes have stuff going on. So we try to be as like understanding of that as we can. And I'd ask y'all to be like as understanding as you can. Before we hop in with Thor, and we just do that for everybody, right? It's not like
Okay, let's skip that and we go to the 4 thing.
2. Let me turn.
Where did this go?
Okay.
Virtual camera. Whoop.
Virtual camera.
work?
Give me a second. There we go. Oh. Hold on.
Oh, for some reason, this is showing the big U, and I don't know why. Huh. Very
Okay.
nice. Now I
I
have
think-
to fix this.
I think I got mine. Did we do it? Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, sweet.
I'm trying to fix it on my end.
Okay, well, it's working for me, so that's all that matters in life.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Isn't that what you've learned from being on the internet recently?
Yeah, definitely. That's how it works.
Is that if
Yeah.
it works for someone, that's all that matters?
It's all that matters. Yep.
Is it though?
Yeah. So how you been, Thor?
It's been rough.
Yeah, I hear that. So I don't really follow much of, internet drama. So are you want to talk about what's been going on, or you want to like not talk? Oh, which is like
I don't-
totally fine.
I don't even know where to start with it.
What's
Well,
going on?
I
man?
think recently I've actually been dealing with the ferret rescue. So I guess we could start with that. 'Cause it's
Okay.
more recent stuff. We had, and this kind of ties back into it too. So we had 2 deaths.
Damn, his mic is so low.
In the rescue this last week, which is rough, and like I'm finding, because we're at about 60 ferrets now, we hover around 60, and we lose about 1 to 2 a month because it's a rescue, and that's kind of how it works. You get animals in that are really messed up, really bad position, and that's kind of how it goes. And I'm finding that I can't emotionally connect with every animal. You just can't do it. It's not humanly possible to do that because you're going to lose them, and you can't like absorb that at all times.
Why would you want to connect emotional to the animals? You are there to you rescue them and then you give them away to a better house, a home. That's how you do that, right? I mean, what's going on? What? Stop being emotionally invested in. This sounds hard. Don't be emotionally invested into the animals that bad. You shouldn't.
It's not like a healthy thing to do. And I've been going through that through like the last couple of them, but the last one really messed me up because it was Ghost, and Ghost is she was one of the first rescue ferrets, and this animal was like physically abused badly originally. And when I went to go pick her up, she was like one of the first ones that I went to go pick up. Normally they'd give you in like a carrier, and the person's like all excited, and they're like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I feel bad. I feel like a bad person." You talk to them about it, and then they give you the animal, and there's like crying and whatever, right? And then you take the animal, and then they want to reach out and know how they're doing and everything like this, because it's usually a person surrendering because they just can't take care of them. This one, I go to the house, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm here to pick her up," and this person just did this and like handed this ferret to me like this, and it's covered in shit, like just feces all over the body. And I'm like,
Disgusting.
"Do you have like a carrier?" And they're like, "Nah." And emaciated, covered in feces, ear mites, visible ear mites. It was awful, and it was just she's scratching herself. She had like it was bad, dude.
Oh my god.
Take her to the vet, and we fix her up, and then we find that she is deeply afraid of other animals. She can't be near other ferrets at all whatsoever. Anytime you put her near one, she freezes, and then she'd bite them and immediately pee and poop, which is not a normal response for a social animal. It's like very clearly something has gone wrong. She came from like some kind of an abusive household situation. We've never seen a ferret do that ever. And I worked for, I want to say, God, it's got to be, it's like 2 years now. It had to be like 2 years of working with this animal every day, trying to like get her to integrate with the others, and she never would do it. But she was just so sweet, and I just played with her every day because they need kind of social interaction. And
How did she respond to
got
humans?
great. Totally fine with humans. She was afraid of being picked up at first, which is kind of common because people don't know how to handle them, and then they get afraid of hands. It's like a normal thing. But she's fine with humans. She was terrified of animals. It was very strange.
Huh. That's interesting. Might be thinking about of that maybe she was in a place where she had to fight other animals for entertainment of the people, maybe, I don't know. Something like that could be. I don't know. But that's where my thoughts are going to.
And it's weird, especially with being afraid of other ferrets. It's very odd, right? So it probably a neglect situation where she was just left in a cage with another ferret and learned to be afraid of them, because it's all learned behavior. They're super social. So, but a couple of weeks ago, she suddenly started coughing, and it turned out she had Hodgkin-like lymphoma,
Okay.
which is hyper-aggressive cancer. It killed her in about 2 weeks. There was no way out. Couldn't save her. Couldn't do anything. We normally get months for that. We can do chemo, all kinds of stuff, but it just killed her.
Why? Why would you This is gonna sound cruel, but why would you spend money on cancer treatment of a rescue animal that that's gonna die in a short time anyway? And yes, I know this sounds cruel for a lot of people, but that's how I see it. Why? Just don't. And you have more money for rescuing more animals. I don't understand the logic. I think this is all driven by emotions.
And going into like the how that ties in with stuff is we've got people that are really pissed off at me over like World of Warcraft from about 100 days ago. It was on January 14th.
Okay.
And they're mad because I ran out of a dungeon in hardcore WoW.
But by the way, that's the one thing I actually agree with him. Because he didn't fuck up. The group lead fucked up. And also, if you're playing hardcore WoW and you go in a dungeon, you always have to expect that people are stupid. So you always have to clear more trash mobs. Always. Always. Don't go, oh yeah, we're doing that like a non-hardcore. No. Always expect people to be stupid. You clear more packs. That's how you make sure you survive. Don't be stupid. And always expect other people to be stupid.
Specifically because our group was wiping. It's
Thor,
every
can
man for himself.
can you
we
turn
run
up
out.
your volume some?
Is
Okay.
that? I think that's as loud as it can go. Let me see if we can do it on this one.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, let me see, because it
It's,
seems like you're pretty
I'm
quiet.
almost redlining on mine.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, he's quiet, right? Yeah, so he's saying he's jacked up as high as he can go. So should I
That's
turn
weird.
my volume down and just tell Stream to turn up the volume?
Do you see that? His nose is hitting the microphone. What the fuck is he doing? No, he's in the red. He might be in his software, whatever, but that's because I don't know what's going on with him. Something's. I think something's wrong with him.
He's jacked up to 200% on Discord.
Well, that's weird. Is it your headphones?
No. You're just not loud enough. It's always the other people, right? Jesus Christ, this is wow. You know, a couple minutes ago, I thought like, yeah, this is not going well. This is I might just not watch this. Let's do something else. But wow, this is getting me agitated. Jesus Christ. This might actually be good content after all.
Okay, I can try to do that. Let me.
They're saying that I sound good on your stream.
You sound fine to me. Let me see. So they're saying I find volume is good. Okay, they're saying he's fine. So I think we fixed it. You're both low as usual. Okay, cool. Thank you, chat.
They aren't low for me. Well, he was, but Dr. K not.
I don't know. I think he sounds buttery smooth, dude. Like
Oh,
butter.
that's super funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so this whole thing started with like World of Warcraft Classic
Okay.
back in January. And
Okay.
as part of this thing called OnlyFangs. And you kind of meme around, you make characters, but it's hardcore. So if your character dies, you lose it forever. But it's a character in a video game, right? So we're doing this.
Do you see that? His microphone arm and mic are moving. And I think it's because his face is touching the mic. I think that's what's going on. Like the other video that I just did about him, I do it here too. I think he's insecure about his voice. Because in the last video we also checked his real voice. I looked it up. I can do it again. Let's do it again. Come on. Real voice. Where is it? Here.
So I feel like I'm being direct, and other people feel like I'm being evasive.
100%.
I think he needs to remove his mic filter that gives him the radio voice.
Software, how's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic-Con, and there's so many people. They love the games, so it's been awesome.
So speaking of games, what do you
See it? Or better said, heard it. That's what's going on. He's insecure about his high-pitched voice, and that's why he's so close to the microphone, and he's not talking in a loud voice, just like now. I'm almost whispering into the microphone right now, compared to now where I'm very obviously speaking louder. And let me know in the comments if you hear a difference, because I can guarantee you hear a difference. And on top of that, he has a filter. I guarantee you he has a filter. Just like I do, but I don't know if this even works because I'm an audio retard. So yeah. And I of course also have filters in my OBS for the microphone. And I have noise suppression in my AMD software. So these are all layers that I use. And I still, at the beginning when I started streaming, my voice sounded the same like now. And I hated it. I'm not completely fine with it. So the problem is not how my voice sounds. I have no problems with that anymore. He does. I think he's very insecure about that. And that's why he's that close to the microphone. Talking not very loudly. And has a filter.
Dungeon, and the call was made to run. But it's kind of before that is we did the dungeon before that in a group, and we failed. And it was like, oh shit, everybody's running, everyone's freaking out, and we all made it out alive on that one. So we decided to go back in. Probably shouldn't have done that. When you have a group that falls apart like that, you probably shouldn't do it again. But we went back in, and on this one, a poll was made that was way too big. We weren't ready for it, and then all of us fucked up. Like every single one of us did, including me. And I talked about it online for it. But there was a pinnacle moment where one of the guys said, "Run, run, run." So we all ran, because you're letting a guy be a shot caller. And then as I ran, he goes, "Why are you running?" to me. And I'm like, I could be a dick right now and be like, you told us to run, right? I could just like reflect that, be like, what are you talking about? Like, you did that. And I was like, what do you want me to do for you? Right. And I said, what do you want me to do for you? Look at my mana. Because it was mostly out of mana, but I had resources that I could have done for it. And I tried to make like kind of a light of the situation. And I was mostly irritated. It was an irritation response, not like a real accurate response. And it turned into this massive meme. And there's people in chat getting banned for it right now, even. So for over 100 days now, there's people that spam mana gem and you're out of resources and run away from your friends and all this kind of shit. And the thing that's crazy about that is, tying back into the ferret stuff, is when Ghost died, my YouTube
Dying back into the ferret. What's going on?
got littered with comments saying Ghost died because she was out of mana.
Oh my
And
god.
That's the shit that I'm getting every day now. Because these aren't people that give a shit about World of Warcraft. They're not people that give a shit about those characters. They're not people that care about any of this stuff. They just want to hate me, and they're doing everything they possibly can to do that in the most vicious.
People are dicks. I think that's what this is coming down to. And you have to have a thick skin to get through that. Yeah. I mean, if you don't, then don't be in the public. I mean, I'm not in the public. We will see how well this is gonna go. But yeah, you have to have a thick skin. Of course you do. If you don't want that, then leave. Focus on developing your game and leave the public. It's that simple. If you don't want it, leave the public.
Fucked up way I've ever seen. And it is thousands of people. It is not a small amount of people. It is thousands. And I get this shit every day. And then there's people that come in and they go, oh, it's so funny. I just said mana in his chat and I got banned. It's like, yeah, we've banned 50,000 people on Twitch alone for this shit. 50,000 accounts so far for that. And about 14,000 have gotten unbanned because they put an unban request because they're like, oh, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. And it's like, dude, this is crazy. It's been going on for over 100 days now. I think it's like, yes, it's
100 days?
over 100 now. And it's not just that. It spiraled out into other things where people made all kinds of wild-ass accusations on me. They tried to say I was a pedophile at one point.
Of course.
Because I had a friend back when I was like 19 and they were like 17. We're still friends today. We're both almost...
That doesn't even make sense. That's literally the same age gap. What the are you... These people are stupid.
40. And they tried to make up allegations about the two of us, and she had to come out, or he had to come out and say, like, no, this is bullshit. That never happened. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So, like, we keep getting, like, these... basically, I got gish galloped for a while, where it's like...
What does that mean?
Shitload of weird... gish gallop is like, I say a whole bunch of lies about you, and you can't respond fast enough, so it looks like they're true. Is basically the way that it felt. So it was like a whole bunch of, like, weird accusations all at the same time, as quickly as possible. And it's weird because when you fight against them... I found something that's really odd to me is I've never seen this before on the internet. Normally, when you ignore stuff, it kind of goes away. You can't ignore things now. If you ignore something like that, people immediately think it's true. And when it's serious allegations like that, you have to respond. So immediately responded to it, shut it down. When I did that, there was a very large number of people who go, no one thought that was real anyway. And then there was a whole other group of people that go, oh, you're fighting it, which means it's true.
I see.
It's like, where is this coming from? It's like the most whiplash, strange behavior that I've seen.
People just want to cause drama because it's entertaining to them.
And that stuff pretty much ever. And it kind of freaked me out, man. But yeah, it's invested internet trolling. Yeah, I think it's the most invested that I've seen with this kind of stuff. It reminds me a lot of like Kony 2012, which is just like they've absorbed into their personality that they need to kill me by whatever means, right? And when I say kill, I mean it. Like, I've gotten swatted over this. I've had weird phone calls to my phone where they're trying to like set me up to try to get me arrested and all kinds of shit. I've had death threats, thousands of death threats over this, which is just insane. It's weird, man. Like, I've never seen this kind of vitriol over something that's just so not a big deal, and for such a long period of time too.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. So first of all, that sounds insane.
It is, yeah.
Like, you know, I've certainly seen that there are people who I don't think people on the internet realize how much power they have to really like mess up someone. So there's this perception that, okay, if you're like successful or famous, that I don't know if this makes sense. It's like almost like the things that you have going well in life are in the same HP pool as the psychological attacks. But that's not how it works, right? So, like, I can have a really, really, really strong biceps, but that doesn't protect me from, like, Hodgkin's lymphoma. Like, it just, like, the dimensions of a human being, and maybe people understand this, right? So, like, you can have some dimension of your life going well, and if some other dimension of your life, like, goes really, really bad, there's a certain amount of resilience that carries through with like the human body. But generally speaking, you know, having a great relationship doesn't make up for a toxic boss. It can help you withstand it. And I think the other big thing that people don't really appreciate.
Yeah, for that, I mean, let's just talk about me. I'm growing on YouTube it's great. I mean, I'm not giant. I have 35 followers. One of them is me on my second account. I'm growing, and this feels great. Like you would say, "Oh my God, yeah, good for you. Yeah, everything's fine." I have a neck injury. I just a couple of weeks tried walking for more than 1 hour straight, and it worked out good. Last week, I took my bike to my dentist appointment. Giant mistake. I still have problems with my neck from that. Yesterday, I rode the bus because I had something to do, which turned out I didn't. And I walked, I rode the bus, and well, turns out when I was almost home from walking from the bus station, I had problems walking. Why? My neck injury. So YouTube and streaming goes well now, but my neck injury, oh Jesus Christ, that thing is totally fucking me. I mean, it's way better than last year, but that's not hard. Last year was horrible. And the thing is, that's not my first injury. I also have a back injury down there, and for that injury, movement is key for it to go away and get better. Movement for this injury is the exact opposite. So I'm fucked. My back is completely fucked. But YouTube and streaming goes well at the moment, and it's continuing going better. So not everything can go good, you know? Some things are just not. That's just life. And you have to push through it. And I think that's what she's talking about. You know, one thing goes good, other things don't.
Appreciate is that like you know when someone has an emotional thing that happened to them, like it sounds like you lost a ferret that you were very closely attached to and had sort of connected with, and when they kind of like attack you in that way, like that's very like hurtful.
Well, I mean, it's intended to be, and like I think what it came to is like I can identify that and be like, okay, this is an unreasonable attack, right? There's kind of like reasonable attacks where like, hey, I'm upset at you for like legitimate reasons. This is why I'm upset at you, and we go, okay, cool. We either resolve that or we don't resolve it, and we kind of go from there, right? And then there's unreasonable attacks, which I think that is an unreasonable attack of like going in and be like, your ferret's out of mana, that's why it died. Like that's designed to just it's designed to get in your head. It's designed to fuck you up.
Yes. That guy is a troll. He tries to get in your head and fuck with you because that's his entertainment. And you have to ignore this guy. Because everything you do, is his entertainment.
There's no someone trying to fix a scenario there. They just want to hurt you, right? And so I kind of package those in different ways. But yeah, no, they still hit you. There's no dodging that.
So what I'm kind of curious about, Thor, is like, so first of all, I don't think that what you're going through is, I guess, justified. I mean, it's not my place to judge, but also like, I it sounds like what you did was, I'm still not quite sure. You made a snide comment and then ran away in a hardcore dungeon?
I made a snide comment as we were escaping the dungeon, and 2 people died in that runaway.
Okay.
And that was it. And then all the people in 5. This is the funny part. The person who made the rude comment to me at the first place, it was like, "Why are you running?" He ended up getting caught in some.
Did you hear it? His microphone peaked. Because he was talking louder while being this close to the microphone. Of course it peaks. Like I said before, that's all because he's insecure about his voice.
other drama with it that I don't even know what happened, and I stepped away from it because I was like, I don't want to deal with any of this. I'm out, right? After all that shit. But what ended up happening right after that was it just exploded, man. Like it just detonated into the sun of just like people being. I feel unreasonably angry because to me it's like that's a character in a video game. We just go make new characters, and you just the whole point, the whole motto for that entire thing was we go again. Your character dies. You make
Yeah.
another one.
So I think that this is where things get like if you're open to talking about this, like I think it could be helpful because I think there's two things that can be true at the same time. One is that the amount of hate that you've received is not acceptable. That I think is true. Like in this moment,
Okay.
I believe that to be true. Like that's not okay. And the way that you are describing the story and the response that you got, there's a big gap there that
There's
I
more
think
in there.
does not. So even if it's unfair, it seems like there's something missing to evoke. So what I'm thinking is like if there's a hardcore raid and people die, sometimes there's a weird situation on the internet where it's like Tinder catches fire and then things get blown out of proportion.
Sure.
So there's absolutely like an unfairness to that, but I'm also imagining and thinking about my experiences on the internet, and the way that you're describing it seems so there's no question that things are like objectively, in my mind anyway, maybe I'm wrong here, but there's no way in my mind that you deserve what is happening to you, because I don't believe that someone getting death threats is warranted for anything that happens in World of Warcraft.
He's true. He's right. Absolutely correct. Something that's happening in the game is not worth getting a death threat about. Now, if you cheat at a tournament where it's money, now we are talking. But, that's real life consequences. If you basically steal money from others by cheating.
Just don't think that that's like,
That's
I
ridiculous to me.
cannot
Yeah.
envision a scenario in which those 2 points get connected. And at the same
I
time,
do understand the route that it carried though, and I can't explain that anyway.
yeah,
keep
so
going.
so that's so because I think that like the nerve that you, so what I'm getting is that you struck a nerve. You really pissed a
Yeah.
lot of people off. And running away in a hardcore wipe, like a hardcore raid that is wiping, I do not think is the nerve that you struck. Does that make sense?
No, it
So-
was the fact that I was smug on the way out because I made like the comment that I made was made with a smug face, right? Because like at that point it was like the group had already wiped once. We were in the process of wiping again, and I'm like, dude, like everybody who's involved in this is screwing up. Why are you calling out just me specifically? I'm gonna make a smug comment in
Because you were the one furthest away.
response. And then it turned into this is just this guy's fault. It's just my fault. Shouldn't have made a smug comment for it. Know that, obviously. But the response for this to be 100 days of this and all these crazy allegations being made against me, doesn't make sense.
So you made you made the smug comment on stream?
Oh yeah, no, all this was live.
Okay,
Everything
so
was
this
live.
was live. And then was there some kind of aftermath? So
Yes,
usually when this
so-
stuff happens, it's like if things go to Twitter, that's when people I think really dig themselves
It's
into
worse.
a hole.
Yeah.
No, it didn't go to like I posted a post on Twitter saying, "Hey, this is all this stuff." I said in there like, "Hey, this everybody screwed up, including myself. This is everything that was going on," and that was that. And I have the
Shouldn't have done that. If he hadn't done that, shit might have been done with in about a week or two.
post.
Or a
if
month.
We can go pull it up. Let me go grab it. Whoop.
So what I'm curious about is the people who got mad at you at the beginning. I'm not talking about the death threat,
Yeah.
folks. The people who got mad at you at the beginning, what were they mad about?
They were mad that I was being smug. That was like the general initial catalyst for it. The problem was what I ended up seeing is a whole bunch of content creators, because this is a content guild. they took a whole bunch of clips of me to make it look as exaggerated as possible and then turn that into content all over the internet. And they
Of
kept
course.
pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Since there's
Kind of what I am doing right now.
so many content creators pushing it at the same time to try and get as many views as possible, it pushed this narrative and that spiraled it completely out of control. And when I say making content out of it, one of those creators actually had his child on video with the face blurred out say, Pirate Software is a disgusting roach. Like, this is wild shit. And that's not a small creator. That's like thousands of viewers, right? So you see this kind of shit and you're just like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why are you doing this? I get it. That's why I put out the video of like anything for views. And it's like, dude, I get that you're trying to do this for views, but you're doing it to cannibalize people around you in the same space as you. That's not sustainable long term. Maybe they don't care that it's sustainable or not, but that's fucked up. I don't.
It's content. It's just content. Him caring so much about that is what's keeping it alive.
I don't think there's any other way I can describe that, is to try to cannibalize some other creator so you can get a quick view is nuts to me, man. Especially because throughout that event, I was trying to do things like, hey, let's go make content with this other creator. I was sending our community over to other people. Like one of the people that actually turned around and just immediately tried to turn it into memes and views and everything like that and try and go in on me. We had the whole community go over there and gave him a level 25 hype train. Like just, hey, you guys should support this dude. He's a smaller stream. He's got like 100 viewers. Go and support him. And everybody jumped over there and it was like $20,000 on a hype train, dude. And then immediately switches around and does that shit. And it's like, what? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, so I know this is going to sound weird, Thor, but like I'm getting some missing qualities here. Have you heard that
What would you like to-
phrase? So
yeah.
do you know what missing means? The
No.
missing reasons. So I mean we can take a look at your Twitter post if like so I mean I think we've actually got a couple of options here. So like I enjoy talking to you. I like you. I respect you. I think that sometimes streamers make mistakes. And at the same time, I think that something about what you're describing feels like there's a chunk that's missing. So I
think
totally
it's because it's all disconnected timeline wise.
okay.
I guess it's hard to describe each individual piece. So the event inside of that dungeon happened. Then afterwards, I got brought into a call with the person who called me out. I left the call because he was shouting over me, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm not going to have a fight with you. I don't want to deal with it. And I left. So that kind of made that more. And then content creators started to make a big deal about it. I started to receive death threats in the game from other players. And I said on stream, I'm going to start reporting people for doing this shit. I'm going to go after them. That got clipped, sent out onto the internet. And then when people sent that out on the internet, they tried to say that I was going after other streamers, when in reality I was going after the people who were sending me death threats. And the only streamers that I reported were ones that had done things like said on stream, I'm going to go to Pirate Software's community and harass him because I think it's good content. Saying that.
Okay, yeah, completely valid. I would do the same. Fuck those people. Completely valid. No problems there.
Live on stream, which is like 2 or 3 people. And I don't think that's a wrong thing to report. So they clipped that one, and this all kind of got spread onto Livestream Fail and all these little pieces out of context. I guess the basic way to think about it is, imagine you're driving your car, and there's a guy sitting in the side seat, and he handcuffs you and takes control of the wheel, and you just get to watch the car drive, and no one will listen to you saying, hey, I'm not driving the car. This isn't accurate. They don't listen to that anymore. They just see your car driving in that direction. So they've taken full control of the narrative at that point, and I can't do a damn thing about it.
Yeah, and that's where you stop interacting with this kind of thing. And it will go away. It's like Asmongold says. If you stop acknowledging it, it will go away. And he's right.
And that's what happened on Livestream Phil. And we get that all the time now too. So like anything that I do on stream, this will probably be clipped out of context and put up on Livestream Phil as well. I'm not really surprised if something like that is. And they'll bring it up and go and do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Does that make sense? But there's still more.
I would love to hear what else there is. And I think what bothers me the most about this is making sense for me on two major levels. One of which I think is, I'm just debating now for a second, because I think one of the things that I'm starting to hypothesize, I just really have to think about this.
All right.
Could really add fuel to the fire. So I have to think about whether I even want to mention that or not. So let's start with just getting more context.
Sure. So after all that live stream fail stuff went off, eventually it started to kind of fall away. But then anytime anything happened with live stream fail, anything, or anytime anything happened with OnlyFans, the guild, I'd get blamed for it. They would think that they thought it was part of some kind of a narrative that I would show back up, and it was like a bit. The whole thing was a bit, and all the hate was a bit. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm out. I don't like, I got kicked from the guild. I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, being part of a streamer guild is a bad decision. You shouldn't do that because the people are retarded. And yes, I'm talking about the streamers. They always try to outmatch each other by... Just don't. Just don't. I wouldn't. And I also just wouldn't play World of Warcraft anymore. Oh, Jesus, fuck that game.
And then somebody actually DDoSed Blizzard in the middle of one of the OnlyFans raids to kill the raiders. So they DDoSed a multi-billion-dollar company, which is wild. Like, that's crazy to me. So they DDoSed that, and then I had a ton of people dive into chat saying, like, oh, you did it. Why did you DDoS OnlyFans? Why did you go after OnlyFans? And then I found out Asmongold made a joke.
Yeah, of course. Does he not understand how people on the internet are? Yes, of course. They would say that because it's funny. They think it's funny. That's all that is. It's just a stupid joke. Stop taking this shit too serious. And yes, oh, Asmongold made a video about it. So what? I really, really, really see why people, now, I wanted to say I can really see why people don't like him, but it's more like he's kind of behaving like a bitch. So I don't even know at this point what to say. This is, why are you even... Stop reacting to people like that. Ban them and it's good.
About that. And he was like, oh, it's probably pirate software. And it's like, no, that has nothing to do with me. And I said it on stream. I was like, you can't make those jokes. People believe them.
And that's when you ban those people. You either ban those people or you go all in and say, yeah, of course I did. You know? I do it every time.
They just believe it. And it's not everybody. Most people realize that a joke, but some people just believe that shit and then they run with it. And that's kind of where that's gone. Yeah. It's one of the most disturbing things that I've seen. And in my chat right now, we're actually banning constant. So this is definitely already up somewhere.
What are you banning people for?
People that come in and say, like, calling me a roach, because the act of running out of a dungeon is called roaching in the game. Still 100 days. It's been 100 days. People that are spamming Mana Gem, which is the resource item that I could have used in the game at that time, just over and over again. See, they're just getting banned constantly. It's just like a constant stream of bans right now. And I knew that was going to happen.
How do you understand that?
How do I understand what?
Why that's happening so much?
What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah. How do you understand why people keep showing up? You're saying it's happening constantly, right? You're saying that...
Oh, it happens if I talk about it. It happens if I don't talk about it. This is every day. It's just more right now because we're talking about it.
Right. So I understand that it happens every day. It sounds like it's like awful. I don't think you deserve this. At the same time, I think that if we want to, we can try to understand it. Is that interesting to you?
Sure. I mean, I think I do understand it. I think it's
What do you
become
understand?
I think it's become a popular thing.
No, but I'm really interested what he thinks why it is.
I think that's really what it is. It's become kind of like a signpost on the internet, like, hey, stop by and do this thing because it's funny. And I get that. Like, I understand that. You know, it's because for a lot of these people,
So-
it's they've never engaged with their community before. They don't know who I am. They're not really interested in who I am. They just want to pop in and say a thing and then get banned, and that's it, right? And some of them are chat hoppers from other communities, from creators that don't like me from that event and have created negative content about me. So they're doing that, and they come over from that community and they think that that's part of it, you know, or they want to be a part of that in some way. Some people describe it as parasocial within the community, but to be real with you, I think it's just people that want to be part of something. And if that something is just hitting me, like, whatever.
Okay.
I think he's kind of overestimating things. I think that's just idiots that want to make a joke and think they are, I don't know, smart or funny, whatever. I think that's all that there is to it. Just a bunch of stupid people. That's all. He's reading way too much into it.
Can you show me that? Do you feel okay? So like, is this what we're talking about today? Like,
I mean, I guess.
I mean,
You want to know how things are going? This is it.
okay, so I think this has the potential to be great. And the reason for that is like I think that there's a lot that everyone who is watching right now can relate to and understand. The thing that I'm concerned about is that I'm going to challenge you in some ways. And the main thing that I'm concerned about is how the way that I challenge you could be clipped out of context, misconstrued, used as evidence that Thor is the worst human being on the planet. Does that make sense? Like, I'm actually like genuinely concerned about that. That like
I almost guarantee that it will.
Of course it will. There has been a grown animosity against him. And I think at least partly it's his own fault.
right. So then I think we have to make a decision about. So I think that there is a way. I'm hopeful, but I don't know. I think there is a way that if we have this conversation, it can actually decompress a lot of the emotional energy that's on the internet. But I think
No,
a
I'd be
lot
down
of
to talk about it because,
Huh?
like, it's. I'd be down to talk about it because, to be real with you, it's not really changing anything at this point. Like the route of trying to ignore it, the route of trying to talk about it, the route of trying to reason about it. We've done pretty much everything that I can think of at this point over like 100 days. And like I've sent over to Kronos. Kronos, if you're there, I sent him the tweet so he can get it over to you.
Okay. Let me take a quick
Yeah.
look at this. So, because I think this is like, I'm really sorry you're going through this, and I think that there's a lot that we have to be careful about. And also, I think the reason that we're here is to try to have some challenging conversations. So, can I actually, while I'm waiting for that tweet from Kronos, I'm going to go grab an iPad because I think drawing here could be helpful.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah, do it
you're
up.
gonna draw.
Actually, I need to find out if Kronos is here. Mods, in the emergency channel, is Kronos here?
Do you see that? His nose is touching the microphone. That's not a normal thing to do if you're using a microphone. You don't have your nose rubbing against the microphone. You don't.
Is Kronos not here? Yeah, I'm just going to send it to him. We'll just do this. I can send it to him in this channel because I don't know if he's actually here. There we go.
This is ridiculous. Let's see if we can skip that part. Where they don't say anything. Might have been a mistake. Definitely a mistake.
Okay. So, so to start with, here's my response to the Dire Maul. From my perspective, I didn't feel I could save anyone else with the resources I had left, even with the mana gem and robe cooldowns. Since the call was to run, was made, I followed the call and got out as quickly as possible. In every other instance where stuff has hit the fan, a shot caller is called a specific target, and nobody died, you call run, run, run. Okay, Yamato pinned the entire thing on me.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how I felt at the time, and I still feel that way.
Okay. Our party went wrong. Each person in the
think it
group
was
made mistakes, including myself, to pin on a single person. Okay, hope it was worth it for you. Okay. So this was live on stream, right?
Yeah, all of it was live.
And
Absolutely.
so it was also live who made the call to run?
Yes. Yeah, he made the call to run.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like here's the hate raid that you're talking about. Okay. So, thank you so much for...
And we expected, and that's why I wrote in there, I was like, those trying to defend me, don't worry about it. We expected that to last like maybe 10 days. The internet generally doesn't care about things a super long period of time. 100 days?
Yeah,
and still
so
people in chat like spamming and getting banned, and like, that's wild.
this is, you were right, this is wild. So we're gonna like try to understand this,
But
okay?
how
so,
bad is it?
God, this is gonna be tough. Okay, so let me start with this. So let's say that you do something, right? Let's say you take an action in life. In the response, would you agree that the response that you are getting is disproportionate to the actions that you've taken?
I would absolutely agree with that, yeah.
Okay. So let's
It doesn't mean I was in the right. It doesn't mean I was in the right. But I do think the response is disproportionate.
I'm with you, okay? So I'm going to
Okay.
start by... Huh?
I don't think it's disproportionate on an individual level, to be clear. I think each person individually that responds with that thinks that they're the only one responding with it, or that they don't feel like it's that big of a deal because it's just one person and they don't understand.
Why is he so silent again?
Okay. So I concur with that too. So let's start with a couple of like really basic things. So the first is, I do not believe, this is a judgment that I'm making, you're welcome to disagree, but I think the majority of people who are on the internet, I would hope, can agree that something that happens on a stream involving a hardcore raid does not warrant a death threat. That's my first axiom, okay? The second thing...
And that's a problem. A lot of people on the internet think it does. Because they are retarded. They are mentally ill. If your life is your game, something's wrong with you.
Is that...
I would hope so.
Even if we...
Oh, and I don't say that to attack people. World of Warcraft was my life for years. And there was a lot wrong with me. A lot. It's not anymore. The shit that was wrong is gone. Now I'm here.
Think you're an asshole. That the amount of psychological punishment you are experiencing is, at this point, sufficient. So I would encourage everyone who is watching this, listening to this, if shit gets clipped out of context, and because I think this could, go wahoonie shaped real quick. Please, if y'all are disseminating information about this conversation, please include this part, which is that we're all human beings who do the best, generally speaking, that we can. Do people make mistakes? Absolutely. Are you allowed to get mad at them? Absolutely. Should you do death threats? No. But also, I want everyone who is a hater on the internet to really stop for a second and think about what the hate does to you. Right? Like, you're hurting another human being, but like, for what purpose? Like, I think it's just kind of, it doesn't make the world a better place. I know that in the moment you feel like, oh, I want to put someone in their place. Like, you know, I'm like, he needs to be taught a lesson. He needs to be taught, you know, he's like, oh my.
The thing is, if you harm other people, you harm a part of your soul. That's why I'm, for example, against torture. Not just because torture is horrible, but the torturer, the guy that does the bad thing, he kills a part of his soul whenever he does it. That's why torture is so bad. You get what I mean? You're always paying a price for what you do.
My God, like, you did this, and like, and I understand those feelings. I'm not even saying that those feelings are wrong, but also, like, I don't know how else to say this. Like, it, you know, it's just a bit much. I don't think it's actually helpful in the long run. You guys are doing all this crap to Thor. It's not clear to me that he understands why you're doing it. Okay, and I think that's the first place where we're going to start. Does that make sense, Thor?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I can understand being mad about it at the beginning. Like, I get it. Your favorite streamer's character died. You know, like, that's going to make you upset. I was smug about it at the time. I get it. You know, I made a mistake in a dungeon. The dungeon didn't go well. Everyone, like, 2 people died. Like, I understand being angry then. I don't understand thousands, and I mean thousands of people 100 days later still on it. Like, that's really weird to me. That's not something I could get, right?
So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm wondering if there's some way that I'm going to play around with.
Oh yeah, no, they're piling in now.
That's okay. So I'd encourage everyone who's watching this right now to just give Thor a break for just a hot second. And just don't just reflexively knee jerk like, okay, like, we're going to talk. Can you see this?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
It is now on stream as well.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so hopefully this isn't too laggy because I think I'm just doing a ton of screen sharing. And
my UI is not the best for this.
Okay, hold on. Then here's what I'm gonna do. What I'd like you to do, Thor, because I think this is a bit too much for something going on with my capture. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, Thor, is pull up my stream and mute it, but watch the iPad on my stream. Can you do that?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, cool. Because when I screen share with you, I just start lagging too much. Or actually, maybe
I wonder what they use.
Okay.
I hope not.
So let's start with
Discord.
this. Over here is death threats.
Ah, nice. Death threats.
Okay. Over here is your actions. And the other thing that I want to do here is, like, we're gonna use you as an example, but I think that, like, literally every human being on the planet could benefit and is guilty of what I think you were, quote unquote, guilty of. So I think there's a fundamental thing going on here, which, like, I think once people understand, my hope is that every human being who is watching this, I have a couple of goals. One is to hopefully develop a little bit of compassion towards you. But the main goal that I have here is to try to offer some potential, because I don't know if I'm right here, okay? Some potential insight into the gap between what happened to you and the response that you receive.
If I understand this correctly, he basically is saying that everyone in the world is guilty of something, which is correct. Everyone is. Everyone in the world has done something to hurt other people, willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly. Everyone did. Everyone. From toddler to 110-year-old. Everyone did. There's no exception.
So the first thing is that this is disproportionate, right? So
Yeah, I can see that.
what
Yeah.
they're responding to is something in here, in between your actions like you're evoking a response. So here's your actions. And then there is some kind of equation that maybe has a, let's call it a multiplier. And then over here we end up with harassment. So does this make more sense? Like if we want to understand why this is happening to you, how this is happening to you, there is some, huh? Hello?
That's awkward.
Can you hear me, Thor?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, you're roboting out really hard. I think that response was like 15 seconds ago.
Okay. So let me see.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh no.
I wonder if, let me try.
Yeah, his internet is dying.
Oh boy.
Nah, it's not the internet.
That's terrible. Give me a second.
I think it's a software that he's using.
Hold on, chat. Can you hear me now, Thor?
Whatever it
Testing?
is.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wonder if, let me see,
Yeah.
just make sure that.
I can hear you, but I don't think you can hear me in real time.
Okay. I'm going to just change.
Man, I hate modern technology.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can we count in sync? 1, 2, 3,
Okay, so
4.
there's about a 5-second delay.
Oh boy. Hold on. Hey, what's going on?
A lot, I guess.
Okay, I will do that. Okay, I have stopped. Okay, is this better? Thor? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
You got. Okay, so now we have mostly in time. So that
Okay,
seems
okay,
good.
okay.
It's like less than a second delay.
Okay, cool. So I think this is pretty normal, and we're going to get back to it, okay? So
So stupid.
if we look
Okay.
at, let me go back to this. Let's see if this works. And
I'm gonna grab your stream and then bring it up on here, so then we can see what you're drawing on my stream.
yeah, give me just 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I think I'm back to, yeah, just pull me up on the stream. Okay,
Yeah.
so if we look at it, right, so there's your
we go.
actions, and then there's like various amplifying effects that result in the level of harassment that you receive, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I can understand that completely.
So, and then let's like toss in, like, there's another variable here which is like memeing. There's another variable here which is like momentum.
Yeah, sure.
There's another variable here which is like content creators hopping on. Content
me.
reactions, right? So each of these things is an amplifying effect. Agreed?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, in your gut, do you think that this plus these things is sufficient to explain, not say that it's justified, but explain what you are going through?
No.
I don't think so, because I think the internet would have given up about it.
I completely
Why?
agree. So I think there's
Yeah,
a big
it's
variable.
too long-lived for that.
There's a big variable. You've tapped in.
The big variable is force reaction. It's reaction to all of this. That's the reason why it's happening. That's it.
Into something that people really don't like. Okay? So, and here's what I'm kind of hearing. So I'm going to just like write some things out here, okay? So these are just kind of things that you've said. And I wonder if this will like, if something will click. Okay, so first thing is that there's death threats. That's bad.
Yeah.
There's banning a lot of people. There is ghost dying. There is
Yeah, no,
people
that wasn't even the first time that happened. By the way.
trolling
Ghost
you
was just
about
the most
this.
recent. Yeah.
There's people calling you a pedophile. There's someone's kid calling you whatever.
Yeah, the roach thing.
Okay. Right. And then the other thing is there's your like making sense of it. So there's like kind of this Gish Gallop. There's you said something about these people like ... like, you know, these people are like why are they doing this? Like you were talking about like what these people.
The best way I put it is, it seems like some people think that they want to be a part of that because it's something that's like greater than themselves. Like they're part of a story, they're part of a narrative. A lot of people that were engaging with OnlyFans stuff were seeing it as like being part of that, and they kept.
Okay.
There were some of them who kept coming back and saying like, when are you going to jump back in and go and kill the people that called you out in that dungeon? And like they thought it was like a story, and they didn't realize like this is not like a reality show. Like what
Yeah,
are you
this is
talking
bullshit.
about?
Yeah.
Right. So I think there was a lot of that, which I also didn't expect that. That was really, yeah, they thought it was like WWE. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay. So like you think that they think it's WWE. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they think
Yeah,
they
basically.
think it's like, they think
Basically,
it's like a
that's it.
show, right? They don't think it's real.
And then so then you use this car analogy of like I'm you know, someone else has taken control of the car.
Yeah.
And then I'm not driving. I'm being punished. Someone else is responsible.
Huh.
Does this make sense?
I would
Right.
say someone else is fully responsible, but I think for that level, yeah.
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 So when I
'Cause you
write,
can't control it. And when I say like someone else has
Well,
grabbed the wheel, it's more like,
you can partly control it. Stop interacting with it. Stop giving it fuel.
that's not what happened. Here's what happened. But like, I guess the basic way to put it is like, if you're having a conversation with someone, they make an accusation at you. They say, you're a terrible person because of this thing. And you go, well, I didn't do that thing. And they go, that's just what a person who did this thing would say. Like, where do you resolve that at that point? Right?
that's a great
it's
question.
that stuff.
So do you know people or have you heard of people who get accused of things and say, I didn't do that thing, but there are other people who continue to insist that they did that thing?
Yeah, it's called Every Day That Ends in Y on the internet.
Okay. What about things that are not on the internet?
I don't know. Like that seems like a pretty normal thing among humans. I see.
Yeah. So has there ever been someone in your life that you felt was like had done something and you were really confident that they had done something and they were like, that's not really how it happened?
I was confident. Like I felt that before in my life. Yeah. And then I either want like proof or not proof. If I don't have enough proof, then like what am I gonna be mad about at that point? I guess is the basic way that I usually feel about that. Like if I have an accusation against somebody, I'm gonna be like, hey, this is how I feel about this. And then they go, hey, well, here's evidence to the contrary. And then we talk it out. Is generally how that is. I think when I was younger, I was a lot worse at that, obviously. It's something I think that you learn over time is like how to conflict resolve in a way that is sane, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So is sane.
When I
So-
say is sane, I mean more like conflict resolve based on things that are provable or not provable, not
Right.
just gut feelings.
I'm with you. And how does that work out?
Well, when I'm talking to people who are older, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I find that there's very few people that are younger that can have conversations like that. There are still ones that will. But I find like usually people past their mid-20s is when they start to be able to do conflict resolution better.
Yeah, young people are idiots. And that's intentional by the government. Which is very clearly because look at the schools and the preschools, kindergartens. It's all made to make the kids stupid.
Okay.
And want more of a trust but verify kind of approach, which is like, I trust that you're telling the truth from your perspective, but I need to verify your claim before I get mad, right?
Okay. So I want you to just like, we're going to tunnel down into that for a second. Okay. So let me just understand this. So like people who, your method of conflict resolution sounds super reasonable, right? It's like, if you've got proof, then you push forward. If you don't have proof, you kind of let things go. And then when I ask you, how does that work? And you're like, well, if people are mature, it works great. But if it doesn't work for them, they're immature.
I wouldn't say they're immature.
I
like
know
an
you wouldn't say
accusation
that.
as a result.
I'm using
Yeah.
that word. You use the word young, but I think the implication of that is that there's like a value judgment on people who that works for, and a value judgment on people who that doesn't work for.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I absolutely do a value judgment. Like when somebody comes in and goes, "You're this, this, and this," and I go, "No, I'm not," and they're like, and then they just spew a bunch of vitriol. I just ban them, right? Like that's that value judgment.
Yes, I would do the same. Jesus. I would do the same. If someone attacks me in chat, I just ban them. Why wouldn't I? I don't need that.
At that point is like, okay, this is a person that is not able to have a normal conversation. They don't want to have a normal conversation. They just want to spew some like garbage. They don't care what's true. They just want to fight about it. And then I don't want them here, right? And that's where I do that kind of evaluation of like, are you cool enough to like, are cool-headed enough to have a conversation, or do you just want to shout what you saw on Reddit? You know, it's really what that is.
So what is so this is the trolling that you receive is fine, but for the people who got upset with you, what is your understanding of the most rational reasons why people got upset with you?
Oh, now this is gonna be interesting.
Let's forget about the
'Cause it was
trolls for a
smug.
second. Huh?
You know, 100%. It's because it was smug, right?
What does
Like,
that mean?
It means that in this situation, in that moment, it appeared that I didn't feel remorse. And people thought that I didn't apologize. They thought that I didn't care. They thought that I wanted those characters to die or some weird shit with that. But no one stopped to actually ask me. They just saw the clips out of context that made it look like I was a big villain, right? And like, I get that. But if you want to talk about that stuff, if you want to believe that, you should probably just come ask me.
So hold on
and
a
then we can
second.
talk about it.
How do you know that
Yeah.
they formed their opinions based on the clips?
Because they
question.
repeat verbatim the same message over and over again that we can only find on places like Livestream Fail, the Reddit. It is copy-pasted information, the same exact messages, the same exact thing. They had like the same phrases over and over again for this kind of stuff. And the only way that you get that is if people are getting it all from the same source.
The thing is, those snippets can be in more than one place. Like if you hear it from me, which, you know, I make longer format videos here. Reacts. Let's be honest, it's not my video, it's reacts. And I'm just showing you what's going on. At least I hope I only show that. If you come for me, I hope you know, if you would come for me and, you know, into chat, do the thing, and it's the same as the others, that he would think it comes from the clips, which it doesn't. So I think he's wrong.
Okay.
You've done more than during the retreat? Yeah, and I said so in social posts, but nobody cared about those. I think that was one of the weirdest things about it is like, I said, yeah, I could have done more in this. I said everybody made mistakes in there, including myself, but no one cared. They
Okay.
just wanted to continue the drama.
So
right?
Thor, when I point this stuff out, do you notice anything with all the stuff that I've written out? Like, does anything kind of pop to you or not so much?
Is it that it's always the other people's fault?
Trying to deflect from like personal ownership over something, but I don't think I'm doing that. So I'm not sure.
Why do you say that?
Because you put I'm not over in the right side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
But that'd be the only reason for that.
yeah. So I think I think your assessment is somewhat correct. I think there's like a couple of things that are like blind spots, is what I would call them.
Sure.
So the first is that I've noticed that this is what's so tricky about this. I think that objectively you're correct. I don't think that anyone deserves the degree of harassment that you've received. I hope people stop. I really wish they stop. And I mean that genuinely. And at the same time, I notice just the way that I hear you speak, I notice certain blind spots or narratives that are constructed. So the first thing
Because
that
I'm
you
nervous about talking about it, to be clear. Like, it's a defense mechanism entirely because of the fact that this has been going on for so long. It involves all of my staff. It involves my family. It involves my general well-being. It involves my physical security at events. It involves all that stuff. And it makes me nervous to talk about it. So it's hard to articulate in a time like that without, I don't know. It's just hard to articulate, if that makes sense.
Okay. So that begs two questions. One important one, which is, are you sure that we should be talking about it?
Good question.
Well, I mean, it's already too late.
No, it's not.
I'd rather talk about it.
No,
the
it's
way
not
that I
too
feel
late.
about it,
We
dude,
can
is
stop.
I
We
would,
can stop right this second.
I would rather talk about that. And
Okay.
the reason why is because I find, and this is a very serious part, right? I find that if you don't talk about this, it's not going to help other people, right? Like, I get it. I'm going through it right now. But this is something I think needs to be talked about because the amount of hate and abuse that's going on from this isn't just going to happen to me.
I'm kind of unsure what to say because well, let's say it. Him talking about this will not change anything for other people. And I think him saying that, it's for other people, he only says that to make himself look good. That's what I feel is going on.
Okay.
I know that's going to happen to somebody.
I agree. I think that you are pretty unlucky here, but I think you are the unlucky person who has tapped into something very fundamental in human psychology that has like triggered the shit out of people.
Likely, yeah.
Okay. So I want you to notice what just happened. Okay. So it's now that you're insisting that we talk about it, fair enough. I said, hey, I'm noticing something about your narrative. And what was your answer?
That I was like deflecting.
What do you mean?
It's unless we're talking about something else.
No. What we just talked about. I said, hey, I'm noticing something about your narrative. And then you said what?
Yeah. That I was like deflecting or trying to push off blame onto somebody else.
Okay. Yes. And then what did you say after that?
I don't remember.
Okay. So then what you said is the reason I'm doing it is because I'm anxious.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, 100% anxious.
Right? I'm worried.
There we go. Okay.
Right? So the interesting thing is that like you're doing something really interesting, which is that like you provide a very logical reason, which is very compassion inducing for why you are doing the thing that you're doing. Right? So like who in their right mind, when you say, yeah, the narrative that I'm creating is because I'm afraid for my physical well-being. Like,
yes.
How is that challengeable?
It's not.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think what you are doing is something that is, I don't know what word to use, has a negative valence to it. You're doing something that's bad, and the way that you respond to it makes it unchallengeable. Like you're doing this thing over and over and over again.
Okay.
Right? So the way that you're
that would be
Huh?
negative about that though.
What?
That's what I'm trying to understand. I said, what about that is negative?
That's a
in that
very
movie?
excellent question. So now we get to something really interesting about human psychology. So if I'm pissed at you and you
Yeah.
take away my reason to be pissed at you, what do I do?
You get pissed, more pissed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how
So you're saying that basically it's created a bunch of anger, and then by having a situation and talking about it and showing like, hey, this is what's going on, it's created a scenario where people are more angry because they don't have a vent. They don't have a way of getting it out.
that is where we're hold on, let me just fix this real quick.
Fundamentally, yes.
Oh.
Before they had the reason to be pissed at you. Now you have taken the reason away. Now they are more pissed. Now they are pissed at you for taking the reason away.
Because I wonder if you're going quiet again. So I just jacked you up. So I think that is the first step to it, right? So there's something that there's something that people, deflecting is maybe a good word. There's something that you're deflecting that then triggers people to like, because they're not getting what they want from you. Does that make sense?
No,
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's an
sure.
alarm going off.
So now the question kind of becomes like, I don't know if this sort of makes sense, but I think when I hear your story, what I hear is, and this is what's so tricky about it, is like, I think everything you've said is logical because you kind of base things on sort of proof, right? But I'm noticing that like the way that you accept responsibility is like 1% of what your narrative is. So you say that you were smug.
Yeah.
Right?
I was super smug about it.
And
yeah.
I think that feels like a tiny, tiny, tiny part of your narrative.
I think it's only a tiny part of the narrative because it's the flashpoint. It's the moment that started, right?
Sure.
So it's hard to make that larger in the story. But yeah, I was
no,
smug.
I mean,
I was smug about it,
I think it sounds to me like, and like now I'm going to say something that's like, this isn't, I don't know what better word to say. I think it's not the flashpoint. I think it's the fuel.
Okay.
So I
you think that was a catalyst for something else?
I think this sounds judgmental, but I think the way that you responded in that moment, so you said early on, you made some kind of like joke, right? Where you, like someone said run, and then you said, I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a joke instead of saying, bro, I ran because you told me to run. You remember when you said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that there's like little things that you're doing that, so if I made the call to run and then you ran and then I was like, bro, why are you running? And then you say you made the call to run. How is that? Why would you not say that? Right? Like the reason I'm doing this is because I was listening to you.
Yeah, no, legitimately, that's the one thing, and I've talked about this before, is like if I would have just turned around and be like, you told us to. If I would have just said that, I feel like this whole thing would not have been like this.
Yes. That's exactly it. If you had just said that, you told us to run, so I ran. That's it. We are done. Everything is fine.
I agree. So I think
Yeah.
that the interesting thing here is that I suspect that there are a dozen other things like that. So just the way that your narrative sounds to me, and let me know if like this is rubbing you the wrong way, or like you think I'm an asshole, or
No.
if this is like,
I don't think you're an
please let me know. But I think that something about this story has something that I would call the missing reasons.
Okay.
I'm not
I think
saying,
for me, whatever it is, it's a blind spot.
yeah,
Because like for me, I'm just like, this was me being smug and it exploded out of control. And for me on this side, it just feels like a lot of content creators leaped onto it because it got popular to talk about. It became kind of like an issue, and it generated a lot of views.
Yeah. So
And it just kind of went nuts.
And so I want you to just pay attention to that for a second, because you're doing it again. Why did this blow up?
Because I was smug?
No.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Why did it amplify? Who's to blame for the amplification?
The amplification I could generally say is Reddit and other content creators. Like, I feel very steadfast in that opinion on that. I don't think this would have reached the audience that it did or become as large as it was on the internet without that.
So
You're talking over 100,000 viewers worth of people.
Yeah, so that I
Easy.
think is 100% true and is indicative of what the problem is, right? Because
And I think this is the point where we take a break, because we are already over an hour in. So this video is likely an hour and a half already. And we will watch another third or the rest of this video next time, because I don't want to spend the entire day on this. I don't. So we will pause with this and do something else. For that we go on the watch later. Too early to react that. That's another 1 hour video. Oh yeah, let's watch this. Black fatigue hits Carnival Cruise Lines, and new rules have woke folks melting down. This is gonna be good.
Fatigue is a term. Apparently.
Stop.
Fatigue is a term that has been co-opted, apparently. It used to relate, when people talked about black fatigue, it used to mean, apparently, the fatigue that black folks faced by being black in everyday world,
Really?
whatever that means. But now it's taken on a whole new term, and Carnival Cruise Lines is being accused of rolling out a set of rules specifically targeting black folks.
I bet it's Afro-Americans, not blacks, Afro-Americans. Because guess what? There is a difference.
I don't read anything in these rules that says anything specifically about black folks. So I'm just going to read them, and I'm curious if maybe together we could figure out what group of people they might be talking about here. All of Carnival's updated rules here.
We are starting out rule 1, and I'm already agreeing.
1, stricter drug enforcement. Cannabis, even if legal in your home state, is banned on board under federal law. Violators face removal and permanent bans.
Good, yeah, I agree, 100%. You are on a private cruise ship. They make the rules. You are a guest. If you don't like it, get the fuck out.
As far as I know, that's not a white or black thing. If you've been to a concert, there's all sorts of people that partake. If you've been to a public place, there's all sorts of people that partake. I don't see anything particularly race specific there. Rule 2, youth curfew. Guests 17 and under must leave public spaces by 1 a.m. unless accompanied by an adult or part of a supervised teen program.
Again, I agree completely. I think that's kind of the law in Germany even. It might be midnight. But yeah, what's the problem here? Oh, let me get this straight. A bunch of people want underaged They want minors to be on parties, getting drunk and high, and then you can, do with them whatever you want.
Okay. I don't know. This is about unruly kids, I suppose. Fan restrictions. Handheld, non-battery fans are now prohibited partly due to safety concerns surrounding the viral "Where them fans at" line dance.
What? What the hell is this? Is this an actual black people thing? And with black people, I mean Afro-Americans?
Never heard of it. I don't know. Apparently you have fans, you dance around, you open them up when you're doing a line dance. I guess. I don't know. Doesn't seem, a line dance seems like it's a white thing. I don't know. Bluetooth speaker ban. Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, well, guests may no longer play their own music in public areas. Carnival says the rule is for comfort, but many see racial bias in its enforcement. Look,
I completely agree with this. Why do you want the people to have their own music on a cruise ship? That's meant to be a party, and then they have live. I guess they have live music. And are the people really that stupid? Why am I even asking?
I have been on vacation in public spaces, and there is generally only one group of people with their jam boxes playing music.
That's the annoying people.
But I'm sure all sorts of people probably do it. To me, it seems like these rules are just about not being an asshole. So if these rules bother you, maybe, you're the a-hole. If I'm sitting on a cruise ship next to a pool, I'm not paying to hear your garbage music. And that goes for rap music or country. I don't want to hear that. The fact that you would feel so entitled that you would have an outdoor speaker in a public space forcing everyone around you to listen to your music, you're just the a-hole.
Yes, 100%.
You want to listen to your music? Get a pair of headphones. It's very easy. You probably have them because you probably used them when you were traveling. Drink package enforcement. Now this I feel personally attacked.
What?
The 15 drink daily limit, which is about 1 per hour, on Carnival's Cheers package, has existed for years but is now being enforced more strictly.
I kind of disagree with this. I mean, I'm not a great drinker. I haven't had any alcohol in months. But I disagree with this, kind of. But I would also, being fine with having free drinks in an entire day. But my drinks are like this glass full. So I would be fine. I'm not good with alcohol. I would be quite drunk quite easily. So yeah.
People are getting too drunk. Reduced music genre options. This is one that is potentially spicy. Though not officially banned, hip hop and rap appear to be quietly removed from many ships' playlists. DJs are also reportedly declining guest requests.
I wonder why. The thing is, modern rap and hip hop is just trash. I say that as someone that grew up with rap and hip hop from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Modern hip hop is just, and rap is just trash. It's trash for trash people. So I completely think this is great. They just should not ban old songs.
Now, I agree with Leon G. Black entrepreneurs should see this as a huge opportunity. I mean, but what this is, you know, people say I'll never cruise with Carnival again. I don't know who goes on cruises. It's never been something that I've wanted anything to do with. Being in a tight space with a bunch of people that I don't know or like, and being stuck with them and not being able to leave for days on end sounds like the definition of a nightmare to me. But what's interesting here is I have the "Where are the fans at" dance somewhere. And
Oh, Jesus.
it looks like at some point, you know, Carnival Cruise is a floating ghetto. This is what people say.
Y'all go ahead and get your hate out. Get all your names you're going to call me and get that out of your system. But for your information, I have been on 9 cruises since 1993.
Okay, it's a lot.
The ones through 2005 were not cheap, but they were very nice cruises. The people that worked the ship were nice.
Yeah.
The people that were on the cruise were nice. You didn't go to the dining room dressed like you were going to the pool.
Well, yeah, that's what civilized people do. You know, people that... Well, is this really a point of discussion? Of course you do. Wear normal clothes and when you go dining and not a bikini.
Okay.
There was a certain amount of decorum required. When you got up in the morning, you could go through early in the morning, because I was. You could go through the breakfast and get coffee and a donut. They had a continental breakfast that early.
Okay. Sounds like she doesn't live in a great area.
What's called the Serenity deck, and you could sit there and drink your coffee and enjoy the sun coming up. You couldn't do that on this last cruise.
Okay, why is that?
Because they were still drunk from the night before.
Of course.
Oh.
And the only place they could find to hide with their goofiness is on the Serenity deck. The people on either side of us in the cabin were ridiculous.
Of
Their
course.
trash stumbled out into the hallway. And I'm not talking people, I'm talking literal trash.
I believe you.
Okay.
They would go up to the bar.
Here's the top comment. She's not wrong. Anyone getting offended is part of the problem. People have literally forgotten what racism actually means. This is not racism. This is the truth about a situation that the woman was in. Pattern recognition is not racism.
True. Absolutely true.
Bars, the buffets, and get plates and plates of stuff. And then just pile it on the floor outside their door. There was no class. In the words of my grandfather, they had no couth.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and forecast. I mean, listen, so the video itself does say Carnival. So the fact that I know what Carnival is and what the meme basically forecasts, she's talking about, you know, the inner city youth, let's say. Guys.
YN?
Yeah, people you don't want to be around. City people are trash. There, I said it. City people are trash.
As I say?
Every single thing that she has just dictated absolutely is indicative of individuals that come from the hood. They've saved up a little bit of money and they want to go on a vacation, right? But the problem is that they don't understand where and how to specifically act based on environment.
Yeah, because they... I said they come from single mother households that doesn't give a... Their mothers don't give a fuck. And their fathers neither, if they even know they are fathers. That's the problem. That's the entire problem. And that's not the problem of, Afro-Americans. No, that's what you have everywhere in the world, where you have a bunch of single mothers in one area. It's everywhere the same. Everywhere. It doesn't matter what skin color you are. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter what culture you are. Single mother culture is always the same. It's always trash. It always results in trashy people. Always. Everywhere in the world.
Say they're so used to living in their specific world, their echo chamber, where everyone kind of around them acts the same, and everything is, you know, consistently okay or decent. They get to a brand new place and just bring the hood or the ghetto with them, bro. That's what this is here.
The fighting is what amazed me.
Fighting?
You're on vacation.
Of course.
There's tons of fighting on
in
these
parts
fights.
of the most beautiful part of the world.
Okay.
And all you can do is cuss, scream, and fight.
Single mother households. They do on the outside what they learn in the inside. In the inside is, what I mean is the household. Because that's what the mothers do all the time. The single mothers do that all the time. So the kids learn that's completely normal to do. And then they go out and do it there.
Now, mind you, I met people on this cruise that were from a Baptist church somewhere up near Chicago.
Okay.
There was about 15 of them.
Right.
I regret to this day not getting their names. I had such a fun time with those people. But I couldn't
She's saying they're
visit
black.
with them
Yeah, I'm assuming.
because of all the nonsense going on. And it didn't matter where you went on the ship.
I mean, it's true. Now, one thing that Carnival can do is simply raise prices. That will get rid of all this. And that's what I would do if I were Carnival Cruises. But of course, we can go to the root. Carnival's new rules got black folks all in their feelings, but others say the cruise line is justified.
Of
Well,
course.
you can see Carnival Cruises is...
I mean, would you want to go on a cruise that looks like that? I don't. Why would I? I would be scared to be killed. And yes, it is exactly what you think it is. This looks like, I don't know, a refugee camp in Africa? Why would anyone would want to go there? Why? This looks horrible.
largely overcrowded and is almost exclusively black in this picture. Brawls, attacks, drunken fights, boots on the ground, fans in hand. Just might have Carnival Cruise Line saying enough is enough. And some black passengers are returning the favor, canceling their existing reservations or canceling the cruise line altogether because they deem the new rules are racist. But some argue, are the new policies racist or just restrictive? You know, stricter enforcing drugs.
It's not even restrictive. That's the point. A lot of those things are just, you know, so things don't go overboard. You can, unless you're a fucking alcoholic, you can have 15 drinks a day. That's plenty. That's plenty. If that doesn't even get you, you know, tipsy, well, guess we have an alcoholic there. Stop complaining about things that aren't even strict. These things aren't strict at all. This is ridiculous.
Having curfews, boots on the ground, they'll leave the fans at home. I don't know if exclusively black people. It's a line dance by 803 Fresh where dancers loudly clack fans on certain parts of the song. The cruise line says the clacking could cause accidental injuries. That seems fine to me. No more hip hop. Some online discussions suggest that Carnival might have been moving towards a more pre-approved song selection for DJs who reportedly declined passengers' requests. Fine. You know, unlimited drinks, having limits. First of all, if you say unlimited drinks, they should be unlimited. But second of all, if people are getting hammered, causing a problem, getting in fights, then they should be cut off. I don't have any problem with that. And by the way, I've seen plenty of white people being hammered and getting into trouble. So I don't really see that as a race.
It's not about black people. Now, that black people are the majority of people that are causing problems. That's not the reason why these rules exist. It's that these rules exist because people causing problems. It's just that it seems like the majority of people that are causing problems are black people. And that's why, black people are so angry. Because they themselves know that they are the problem. You can't make this shit up.
This is just you've got to act right in public. She canceled a reservation for a friend's birthday. We got the carnival message loud and clear. We're not your demographic anymore. Well, people who act the fool and do this kind of stuff, I wouldn't want them around me either. White, black, or purple.
Yeah.
Well, some are saying goodbye to the cruise line. Others, welcome the change. Y'all have to learn how to act. I'm not going to lie. Y'all really made the value go down. I'm not mad at it. Another added. The rules, I imagine that means. I've never seen a Carnival Cruise video on social media that makes me want to go. If it's like Walmart, it's like the Walmart of cruise lines. While a third video wrote, it's not racism, but certain stuff becomes a liability after a while. Another wrote, it's not a crackdown on color, it's a crackdown on people's behavior. One person reasoned. Other comments included, Carnival got tired of being Section 8 of the sea. God forbid the company want to protect their brand. What's racist about asking people to act right? Absolutely nothing. The people that want to act the fool, they're the ones that are impressed or that are upset about this.
Yes.
Absolutely fatigue setting in here. I hope you were informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe and follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.
What he said. Good video. Good video. Jesus Christ. Some people are just so stupid. So stupid. Okay, I'm gonna take another piss and then we continue our journey.
Four computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Really. Didn't I already watch that video? Okay. The piss was good. Now let's see. How things are going. Where is my... Okay. What do we... Let's watch this one. Looks like fun. I wanna see stupid people melt down. Because it's fun. It's always fun to see that.
Charged or convicted of crimes like burglary and a whole lot more.
So ICE teams are making moves across the US arresting dangerous criminals and gang members. But as they do this, they're encountering protesters at every turn who get in their faces and help known criminals try and evade arrest. However, it's now...
Who could have guessed that the people that want to defund the police trying to help criminals? Who could have guessed?
Being revealed that even if the bad guys think they're safe in a sanctuary city surrounded by activists, ICE doesn't care because it's their mission to get the criminal element off the streets of our country for good, no matter where or how it's hiding.
Police have arrested a 24-year-old Venezuelan man who they say was pretending to be a 16-year-old unaccompanied minor. Also, he could attend a local high school, which he was doing successfully for almost a year and a half. He was even playing on the high school's JV soccer and swim teams.
These officers gear up and hit the road. They're simply doing what they've always done.
This is what we do every day.
I-150, they had their guy. ICE asked us not to report his name.
Loud noises. Loud noises.
Or show his face as the case is still pending.
They have a warrant for your arrest.
The exclusive Fox images from an LA jail highlighting a major shakeup to well-known sanctuary immigration policies across California and LA. Is this
good? Good.
a sanctuary city still?
No.
That's why we're encouraging people to self-deport. If you are here illegally, we recognize that you may have been here for a period of time, but if you want to leave and have the chance to come back someday, leave on your own.
This man in his late 20s is wanted for 2 counts of first-degree murder, organized crime, and aggravated assault in his home country of Venezuela.
And that's the kind of people the people on the left want to protect.
Venezuela.
So if your plan was to be an open borders sanctuary city forever, bad news. That might need to change. But what nobody's talking about is this right here is totally reshaping the landscape of America's battle with illegal immigration, because no sanctuary cities means there is nowhere for dangerous criminals to hide. Which is exactly
Nice.
what they've been doing in cities like Los Angeles and New York, with one of the Colorado gang members who took over apartments famously fleeing the state and being tracked down to New York City of all places, where he was hiding in plain sight thinking his best days of criminal activity were still ahead of him, revealing that one of the largest problems facing America right now is the internal migration of dangerous criminals to places that protect them. However, that
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, is anyone surprised? I'm not.
That's about to change, and right now we're seeing huge amounts of ICE-related activity in progressive parts of America, where recent targeted immigration enforcement has seen SWAT units accompany agents while they look for the bad guys, who could be armed, ready to fight, or worse, prepared to drag the general public into their efforts to evade justice. And that brings us to the real reason ICE is now going on offense. Letting the criminals hide somewhere in America, even if it's a sanctuary city over here, still puts all of us at risk, because the crime these guys commit doesn't just stay in one place. Something we're witnessing in New York as dangerous gang members use that city as a base of operations to ruin the rest of the Northeast.
Yes, of course. If you have a safe base from where out you can operate safely from, Of course you use that to get things done somewhere else, and when things get hot there, you retreat. Of course that's what you do. Of course. I mean, yeah, that's a smart thing to do.
But this too is about to change, because right now in Los Angeles, the federal government is raiding jails and getting foreign fugitives out of our country before the local progressive legal systems they're as dangerous as this fellow.
Prior surveillance suggested the target would head to work around 1 p.m. By 1:50, they had their guy. ICE asked us not to report his name or show his face as the case is still pending, but they tell us this man in his late 20s is wanted for 2 counts of first-degree murder, organized crime, and aggravated assault in his home country of Venezuela.
Now to
Leftists, especially women, love men like that. Oh, a murderer? Oh yeah. Oh, he's a rapist? Oh god, yeah. Gets the pussy so hot, gets it so wet. Ooh. That women are stupid.
us normal people, arresting guys like that is a good thing, but these are the very individuals activists want to protect. In fact, for some reason, our elected officials are still trying to visit Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the MS-13 gang member who's currently being held in El Salvador. However, the schemes of progressives like harboring and protecting thugs in America are about to end once and for all. And as you're about to see, the wrong people are no longer getting a free ride in this country anymore.
The state of California thinks they're doing these immigrants a
I bet they now come to Europe. I bet. Wait, if they get 1,000, if you self-deport in the US, you now get $1,000. With $1,000, you can buy a plane ticket to Europe as a tourist and then just disappear here. Oh, fuck. Shit. Yeah, we might have a problem. On top of all the Africans and, you know, everyone else that comes here illegally and committing crimes. Which I'm not allowed to talk about, or I will go to prison for hate speech.
favor by shielding them from ICE. Now they're probably going to do federal jail time, prison time, before they're deported.
California has long prided itself on being a safe haven for migrants who enter the United States illegally. But Operation Guardian Angel could bring major changes. Fox News got an exclusive look at the transfer of an illegal immigrant from a Los Angeles jail to the custody of federal agents. That's new.
It is new, and it's a good thing, because for a long time, Los Angeles or New York City, get arrested, go to jail, and the local jurisdiction will not ask you about your immigration status or turn you over to ICE, even if ICE says, hey, can you hold on to this guy for us? In fact, just recently when a gang of Tren de Aragua members attacked police in the middle of Manhattan, when those gang members were arrested and brought to the 35th Street precinct, ICE was told they were not allowed to talk to these individuals. And the goal of
course not.
Every sanctuary jurisdiction is to release the illegal criminal in order to help them evade federal custody. Because for some reason, there's this misguided idea that people who've already broken tons of laws and are gang members are not a threat to society whatsoever.
Same in Germany. We had a case here. Someone forced himself onto a 12-year-old girl. And the judge gave him 6 months because, oh well, he's so well integrated into the society. He's speaking German so well. 6 months. Yeah. In the country he came from, he would have been beheaded.
As you're about to see, thankfully, the federal government does not agree with that idea.
As the jail in Los Angeles transfers an illegal alien to ICE custody. The sanctuary jurisdiction forced to hand this Mexican national over thanks to a first-of-its-kind federal operation.
With this operation, we're going to be neutralizing California's sanctuary state policies.
Bill Essayli is the U.S. attorney in L.A. and the architect of Operation Guardian Angel.
California is the testing ground on this. We are one of the largest sanctuary jurisdictions.
All right, guys, thanks for circling up.
So how does it work? Essayli has created a federal task force made up of ICE, HSI, FBI, DEA, and ATF, all working together out of this office in downtown LA.
How's his criminal history? He's got the domestic violence.
They scan these criminal databases daily to find illegal aliens in local jails who have been previously deported from the United States.
Previously deported? Wow. So they're the second time in the country. How does that happen? I wonder why. How?
If they've returned to the U.S., they've committed a federal felony known as illegal reentry. An assailee's office will immediately seek a criminal arrest warrant against them, which, unlike an ICE detainer, sanctuary jails can't ignore.
That's smart for a couple of reasons. First, it stops a sanctuary city from doing the thing that it really wants to do, which is just to protect criminals and dangerous individuals and release them. That's what they want to do, but they can't do that if there's a federal fugitive in their custody. They have to turn that person over, even though they want to keep them, as we just heard. And the frightening thing is, a lot of times, after they release these individuals, what do? They go back to wherever their hideout was. They rearm themselves. We saw this about a year ago in New York City when several gang members got arrested with weapons and then returned to the scene of the crime where ICE had to pick them up, something that puts their entire community at risk as armed agents now have to operate in public and take down people who could decide to fight back. But there's
great, isn't it? But always remember, these people are the good guys. You know, the criminals with the guns.
There's a second ingredient to all of this, which is the unlawful reentry component. Anybody who's already been caught and deported once from America and is now back somehow, they're automatically one of the worst offenders we could possibly have, and that's who ICE is going after.
We're going to flood the system with warrants for criminal illegal immigrants that are in county jails. They can ignore a detainer, but they cannot ignore a criminal arrest warrant.
The federal task force brought us with them as they went to Twin Towers Jail in downtown LA to take custody of a previously deported alien they found in their database and filed a warrant on. He was facing local charges for robbery, but the sanctuary jail immediately handed him over to ICE, with California's sanctuary policies unable to protect him from the criminal warrant.
So what's crazy to me is that if you've got somebody in your custody, in your local jail, and you know that ICE is looking for that person and they're there because they've done something horrible, why do you want to pay to keep them when you can give them to ICE, who will serve justice to that person?
Because that's the politics. On the ground level, people think they are doing the good people thing, or at least they think they will be seen as a good people. And on the top thing, it's just their politics. They want the crime, so they can imprison the non-criminal people. By imprison, I mean imprison in the country. This is all done to create a police state where no one has freedom and everyone is a slave of the government.
And will take the financial responsibility of incarcerating that person. But probably even more shocking is what this reveals is the only guy they were able to get is this guy who had these charges, wasn't supposed to be here, and it was going to be his second time being deported, which lets you know that there are other guys like him, other robbers, assailants, thugs who haven't been deported yet and get to stay in that jail. That's a huge problem. Those people are probably going to get set free at some point, and what are they going to do? They're going to go back out in their communities, learning nothing, and they're going to reoffend. All because these activists hate the president, who's made it his mission to go and get these gang members and criminals out of our country so much that they're willing to look at these people and say, oh, they're not gang members. They haven't actually done anything wrong. If Trump says they're wrong, they're right.
Even confronting
These people are stupid. They're religious zealots without any thoughts on their own. And of course, a lot of these protesters are being paid actors.
By questioning their actions.
My name is Bill Carter. Are you here legally or illegally?
Don't talk to him. Yet another encounter between Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the public. This video taken Tuesday morning in downtown Waltham, showing ICE agents forcefully arresting two men in a van after seemingly ignoring their orders.
My first feeling was fear, and then it was anger when I saw how they took him out.
Milenia Herrera recorded the video. She recently took a course on how to document these encounters and help inform people of their rights.
I was just letting him know that he has a right to remain silent and not answer any questions that he doesn't want.
Yeah, so all over the country, you've got people who have been led to believe that if ICE, which only has a small handful of agents who can even do this, if they're out there arresting somebody, you've got people who've been led to believe that ICE is doing something wrong, that they're taking innocent men, women, and children off the streets for no reason, without taking into account the violent past these people have. They truly think ICE is out there sweeping the streets, when the opposite is true.
Yeah, these people are stupid. These people are literally retarded. These people shouldn't be allowed to live on their own, to do anything on their own without supervision, because that's how stupid they are.
ICE has very few people who can even do this. They can only go after the really, really bad guys, and here you have a guy in a car who's not responding to officers who want to talk to him, which should already be a huge red flag. And if ICE doesn't take these people off the streets, the entire community, including activists, are going to be in danger.
Let's roll out.
And with that, these
Yes,
officers gear up and hit the road. ICE Assistant Field Office Director Mitchell Diaz says they're simply doing what they've always done.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about what ICE does?
It's just not random. It's just not that they're going out in the streets and picking up just any individual. Most of the enforcement action is targeted. We know who we want and who we're going after. It's long-term investigations that we do.
Today, their investigation led them to this apartment building in Broward.
Looks like the target.
So it's the exact opposite of what the stupid people say and think. Or who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that?
It's going to the passenger door.
Prior surveillance suggested the target would head to work around 1 p.m. By 1:50, they had their guy. ICE asked us not to report his name or show his face as the case is still pending.
Is this the fourth time we see this clip? This is ridiculous.
So all over the country, you've got ICE agents going after people like this, and this guy had a very frightening record back in his home country of Venezuela, and he's not even supposed to be in the United States. Every activist that sleeps soundly at night can do so because people like this are not living next to them committing crimes. And if you see agents canvassing a neighborhood or breaking into a van, you better believe they've got a reason for doing so. And as we just heard, anyone filming something like this, any activist out there, is witnessing the results of an hours-long investigation that took a lot of time and is not some random occurrence. And everything these activists are upset with ICE about is actually done in the best interest of the general public.
It's unclear what charges either of the two men face or the reasons for being detained. A very public arrest of a woman in Worcester by ICE last week sparked outrage and advocates.
I wonder what she did. Probably something drugs or prostitution.
Who had been trying to better coordinate a community response to these actions.
There is a concerted effort for people to not only know their rights, but to know how to identify threats in their community.
Threats in their community. These activists think that when ICE is taking down a dangerous gang member, that ICE is actually a threat to the community that dangerous gang member, who is a threat, was living in.
Again, these people are stupid. Don't listen to what they say. Just beat the shit out of them.
Could not be more backwards. We're calling evil good and good evil at this point, and that never ends well for those who do it. And it's certainly not ending well for sanctuary cities that have crime rates that are just going through the roof, even though they're doing their best to cover it up. On top of that, this message of fear that these activists are spreading is hampering ICE's ability to do their job, because these activists have their own people scared so much that they think everyone's at risk from deportation for some reason.
You see your wife, you see your kids, you're separating families. This is hard-working people. They're not criminals.
The frustration among those in the...
The opposite is the case. They are criminals. And they likely have no family.
Community reaching a boiling point where these actions are turning into clashes.
It's so upsetting, and it's evoking a lot of fear and anxiety in all of us. We can't even live our own lives, working, providing for our families.
Are you illegal? Because if you are not, then what's the problem?
Why can't she live her own life as a free person in America? Is she here illegally? Is she a gang member? Is she on ISIS radar? If none of those things are true, this person has nothing to worry about. Yet they've decided that they want to be emotional and just be an absolute wreck over the fact that ICE is out there getting the worst of the worst off the streets. And these people are acting as if the secret police are out there separating families, taking hardworking people who aren't criminals off the streets, when literally every interview we have with every ICE agent says that's not what they do. They're going after people that are bad news. Yet these activists want to stand in the faces of federal agents as they're trying to keep these very activists safe and tell them that they're wrong and act like they're standing up for what's right when they don't even understand what's going on.
Now, this is another live look at the rally here in front of Worcester City Hall. This rally prompted officials to close the building early and take their council meeting online. Activists you see out here, they're demanding a greater response by elected officials to try to protect the immigrant community.
You know, these activists, they're the real threat to the immigrant community, because if they get their way, every single criminal, every single gang member, they're going to get to stay in that community, and they're not going to make it a better place. These people, they prey upon their own. We see it in New York City.
Of course they do. They always do.
Where various immigrant communities full of legal immigrants are now suffering the brunt of gang activity. I mean, just look at the MS-13 signs we've got tagged on buildings all over middle-class areas of New York. And these activists are in favor of that. They say that the people out there writing those gang signs that, oh, they must be Maryland fathers. These are innocent, hardworking people, and what ICE is doing is wrong. That's what they truly believe. But
again, these people are stupid. These are the people that have no contact with migrants and refugees. If you do, you know there's a difference.
let me ask you, is that true? Is ICE doing the right thing, getting these criminals off the streets? Are sanctuary cities about to be a thing of the past now that the federal government has figured out how to get the criminals these places are trying to hold on to? Let me know. See you in the next video.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Gotcha! Gotcha!
Stop it, stop it. Yeah, I think at this point I'm only 4 hours. Let me yeah. I think I'm gonna call it a day and cut some videos, upload them. That's it for today, yeah. Streaming 3 hours is enough. Okay. See you next time, I guess.